Jake, Parson. Well, by golly, it's good to see you.
I figured you might feel like that.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, too, Ben.
Well, come on in.
Not many days happen like this, Ben. I figure man ought to enjoy them while he can.
Yeah.
Like it says in the good book. It ain't what a man's got. It's his begats that counts.
Well, Jake, I agree with you there. Guess we're lucky to have our children.
You're right. Come into this world with nothing, we go out with nothing.
Yeah.
What's reason for man's existence if it ain't to look out for his kids?
Very little, I guess.
Well, I've been blessed that way. 2 strapping boys, and a girl. Of course, the boys have given me some trouble. But not my Mary. She's as good as they come.
I agree with you, Jake. She's a mighty fine girl.
Sometimes I used to think that the only thing that could raise on my land was a ruckus. 2 years without rain or grass. And when the grass came, fire and rustlers.
Well, you've had your share of hard luck, Jake. There's no denying.
The Lord's will. Keep working hard and sweating. And things get better. I'm going to send 600 head of cattle to market this year.
600 head? Well, by golly, Jake, that's wonderful.
Ben, I want to do my share for the young'uns.
Well, every father should.
You got good land to spare, I got cattle. And together we can scrape 'em up a nice little spread. Start 'em in right.
Yeah.
My Mary and your little Joe. Been hoping that'd happen. I'm purely happy it did.
Jake, I don't rightly know what you're aiming at.
Well, now, a church wedding would have been more to my taste, and a barbecue and a dance after, but...
I finally tracked that sorrel down, Pa. How you doing, Mr. Parsons?
Well, little Joe, how's Mary?
Mary?
Joe, sit down.
It was bad enough for Mary to elope, but the least you could do would be to bring her back afterwards so we could help celebrate.
Hey, Mary eloped, huh? Who with?
Oh, now, little Joe, I know about you young'uns. I couldn't be happier.
Jake believes that you eloped with his daughter, Mary.
Me? Oh, heck no, sir. I didn't elope with anybody.
Now, little Joe, there's no need to lie about it.
Well, I'm not lying. I haven't even seen her.
Mary told me and the boys that you're going to take her on a picnic yesterday.
Me?
Yes, you. She drove out in a buggy to meet you a little after noon. And she ain't been back since. Now, if you didn't elope, suppose you tell me where she was all last night and where she is now.
Well, I don't know. I told you I haven't seen her.
Where was he last night?
My son is old enough to answer for himself.
Well, you know where I was. I was out looking for that sorrel. Got late, so I camped in Buckhorn Flats.
It's your answer, Jake.
Where is she?
And look, all I can tell you is the truth. I didn't see her. If she went on a picnic with someone, it wasn't me.
Jake.
She said she was going with you?
Well, you must have heard her wrong.
She says you've been courting her for 2 months. You deny that?
I have to because it isn't true.
You calling my Mary a liar?
No, sir. I'm saying there must be some mistake.
Appears to me there is some kind of mistake. Some bad mistake. Appears to me, too, there's going to be a wedding when my Mary comes home and tells me the truth about all this.
Jake, I know you're upset, but my son doesn't lie.
Neither does my Mary. Parsons may not be as rich as Cartwright's, but we do know the difference between right and wrong. We found Mary, Pa. She's dead.
The buggy was near Indian Leap. Her body was at the bottom of the cliff.
Jake, this is terrible. Is there anything we could do?
You Cartwrights have done enough. I want to see my daughter. You boys take me to her. We'll be back.
Oh, no. Someone might come in.
Let them. We're engaged, aren't we? I want the whole world to see and know how lucky I am. Dolly, do you think the governor will be at the reception?
I don't know. That's the 10th time you've asked me that. Does it really matter that much?
Well, of course it does. I want to meet him. Contacts like that are very important in the legal profession.
Jerome, can't you ever forget business?
Sweetheart, I didn't have the start that your father did. If I want to be worthy of you, I've got to make every moment count. Mr. Cartwright, I didn't know you were coming in this afternoon.
Well, we hadn't intended to, Mr. Bell. Well, Betty May. Is Hiram in, please?
Yes, sir. I'll tell him you're here.
Thank you.
Mr. Cartwright to see you, sir.
Ben? Little Joe. Well, this is a pleasant surprise. What brings you into Virginia City, Ben?
Well, Hiram, trouble. We need your help.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Ben. Well, that's what I'm here for. Come in, come in.
Hiram, this isn't an ordinary legal matter.
You make it sound pretty serious, Ben.
Well, it is. It's quite personal.
I'll be outside if you want me, Mr. Wood.
What do you think the trouble is, Jerome? I've never seen Ben Cartwright so upset.
People are always upset when they come to a lawyer's office. That's why attorneys like your father get such large fees.
Jerome, that's a fine way to talk about your future father-in-law. If you worked as hard as he does...
Darling, I would. But every hour I work is an hour away from you.
We'll try working for an hour anyway. I'll be back at 2. We can leave for the reception from here.
I'll be waiting for you.
Well, Ben, I can understand your concern about this, but I don't see what you got to worry about. If little Joe is chasing a horse in Buckhorn Flat all day, there's no way he can be implicated in the death of this girl.
Well, maybe not legally, but Jake Parson and his boys think he is implicated.
Well, Ben, it was a terrible tragedy. They were overwrought.
Well, I can understand that, but I don't want my son gunned down by someone taking the law into his own hands.
Hey, don't you worry about the Parson boys, Pa. I can take care of them.
You'll do no such thing. You'll go to the sheriff and give him a full account of your whereabouts these last few days. And, Ben, you tell him what transpired between Jake Parson and yourself. That way, any protecting that needs to be done will come from the law.
Well, all right, Hiram. Came to you for advice, if that's what you think we should do.
That's what you should do. Well, Roy Coffey will know how to handle it.
Yeah.
No, Sheriff Coffey's not in town. He's in Carson City on that wrestling case.
Oh, yeah.
The new deputy, Rick Conley, I think, is in charge.
You think that'll make any difference, Hiram?
I haven't had a chance to get acquainted with Deputy Conley. But just to make sure, I'll send Jerome along with you to see that your statements are taken down properly.
Thank you.
Jerome, will you step in, please?
Yes, sir.
Jerome, I want you to go to the sheriff's office with Ben and little Joe. They're going to make a statement. And I want you to protect their interest and see that it's recorded correctly.
Do you want that taken care of immediately, sir? You know, Betty May and I do at the reception.
Well, that'll have to wait.
Of course. Is this Ponderosa business?
Well, not exactly. Little Joe's going to make a statement as to his whereabouts at the time of Mary Parsons' death.
Mary Parson? I hadn't heard.
Her body was found at the bottom of Indian Leap.
In 3 weeks prior to the company and Parson in the company of others. Oh, this seems to be perfectly all right. All right for you both to sign it. I'll just witness it. That should take care of things.
Unless there's an inquest.
Inquest? Well, I see no reason for an inquest. It's obviously a case of accidental death.
Well, maybe it was and maybe it wasn't. That's not for me to decide. That's up to the coroner.
Well, I feel that an inquest would be completely out of order in a case like this.
Well, mister, I don't care what you feel. I'm running this office until Sheriff Coffey gets back, and I'm not about to decide anything until Doc Martin tells me whether it looks to him like this girl was hit, choked, shot, or whatever before she took that fall.
Well, we can understand your position, Rick, and we'll go along with anything that's necessary. Do you want us to stay in town?
Might be a good idea, Mr. Cartwright. Jake and his boys brought the girl's body in. Doc Martin's making the examination right now.
You gentlemen will excuse me, I'm late for an appointment. However, I must advise you that even if there is an inquest, there's no need for you to stay in town. There was no witness to involve little Joe. I'll be able to handle everything at the proper time.
Thank you, Mr. Bell.
Bye, sir.
He's right, Mr. Cartwright. I can't keep you in town unless you want to stay.
Well, we'll stay in town until after the doctor's made his examination. We'll be in his office if you need us.
All right, sir.
What's the doctor going to be able to tell us?
I don't know. The more information we have, the better we'll be able to reason with Jake Parson.
Well, that girl fell 200 feet. I don't see how they could tell anything.
Doctor, were you able to reach any conclusion?
There's one conclusion that was easy to reach.
What was that?
Every bone in her body was broken.
Was there anything to indicate that, well, it was anything but an accident?
Not specifically.
Well, then it was an accident, then.
Could have been. Or it could have been suicide.
Suicide? What makes you say that?
She wasn't married, was she?
Well, you know she wasn't.
She should have been.
A son.
Oh, Pi. He's never even alone with her.
I'm gonna have to tell this Deputy Connolly right away. I guess you know that, Ben.
Yeah, I know that. I was just thinking about what Jake Parsons gonna do when he finds out the truth. Well, thank you, Doctor. Don't you better go home?
What's got into Ben Cartwright? You little Joe went by me like I was a rock in the road.
No, it's nothing personal, I'm sure. They're concerned about Mary Parson being found dead.
Mary Parson dead? When was this?
Our brothers found her body yesterday. Happened the day before, though.
The day before? I saw her that day around noon.
Where'd you see her?
Why, right on the road to Indian Leap. Must have happened right after I saw them.
Them? You mean there was somebody with her?
Sure there was. She was with little Joe Cartwright. I even waved to them when they went by.
Are you sure you saw her with little Joe Cartwright?
Don't you think I know little Joe when I see him?
Well, you'd better be sure, because you're going to have to tell that to Ben Cartwright.
Tell Ben Cartwright why?
Because as soon as you've signed a statement to that effect and everything's legal, you're going with me out to the Ponderosa to arrest little Joe for murder. Doc, you better witness this.
All right.
Mr. Hardner?
Howdy. Rick, Mr. Hardner.
Howdy, Hoss.
Howdy, Hoss.
Your pa home?
Yeah, he's inside. Come on in. Come on in, man.
John. Deputy. Well, come on in, gentlemen. Sit down.
Thank you, Mr. Cartwright, but we're here on official business.
Oh, well, what does that mean?
You go ahead and tell him what you told me, Mr. Hardner.
Sorry as I am to say it, Ben. I saw little Joe and Mary Parson driving up toward Indian Leap day before yesterday.
You what?
You were in Parson's buggy, little Joe. Your paint horse was tied on behind.
Mr. Hardner, that's not the truth.
I wish it'd been somebody else that saw you, Joe. It ain't easy to do this to a friend.
Pa, he's lying.
Oh, little Joe wasn't in that buggy. He wasn't nowhere near Indian Leap.
I know that.
Well, what are we doing standing here listening to this for?
Well, John, for some reason, thinks that he saw little Joe and Mary in that buggy. He believes it.
Well, that kind of believing can put a rope around Joe's neck.
And you still say that you weren't there.
Of course, I say it. I wasn't within 20 miles of that place.
All right. Comes down to your word against Mr. Hardner's. In a case like that, a jury's going to have to decide it. I'm sorry, Joe, but I'm going to have to take you in.
Get your horses ready. We're going to town. We believe you, boy. Never doubt that for an instant.
I'll take that, Joe.
Stop right there, all of you.
You don't have to do this. Little Joe's under arrest. We're on our way to town.
Get out of the way, Cartwright. I come out here to get one, but I'll take two if I have to.
Little Joe's not wearing a gun. You can't shoot an unarmed man.
What chance did he give my sister?
I never even saw your sister.
And that's what you'd say, sure. But she said she was going to beat you, and that's good enough for me. Get out of the way, Cartwright!
Don't be a fool, Pete. Let the law handle this.
Well, Cartwright's a big name around these parts. One kind of law for you and another kind for the rest of us.
That isn't true, Pete.
Not this time, it ain't. I'm going to have me an eye for an eye. You ain't out of the woods yet, Cartwright. Wait till my pa and brother hear about this.
Let's get it over with, Joe.
Well, I'll say it again. I wasn't within 20 miles of Indian Leap.
Then you got nothing to be afraid of.
Now, haven't I? All I saw was a rabbit, a buck, and that sorrel. They gonna testify in my behalf?
Well, I guess somebody better tell Jake Parson about Pete.
Don't worry. I don't doubt that all the Parsons have heard about it by now.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I got to see Hiram Wood. You boys coming along?
No, we'll keep Joe company.
Yeah, make sure you don't get no uninvited company.
That's a good idea. didn't want to hurt Pete, but I just couldn't let him kill somebody in cold blood, could I? I had to shoot.
Of course you did, Ben. Of course you did. But right now, the Parsons are the least of your worries. Well, let's face it. This has turned out to be a lot more serious than I'd anticipated. With a witness like John Hardner. John have any reason to lie, Ben?
Oh, no, not John Hardner. What?
Ben, this is a difficult question for me to ask you. Are you sure that little Joe is telling the whole truth?
You asked me to doubt my son.
No, I'm not asking that. All I'm asking is, do you think there's any chance that little Joe...
If I were to start doubting my son at this point, everything I've lived and worked for would be lost.
Well, Ben, I'm your lawyer. I have to think the way a jury's going to think. Believe me, with this latest news about the girl and John Hardner's testimony, this is going to come before a jury.
Hiram, what do we do?
Well, you two have a good time at the reception?
Oh, Father, it was absolutely wonderful. Jerome made such an impression on the governor. The governor hardly noticed anyone else.
I was surprised how young he is. We did seem to have a lot in common. He even wanted to know my views on politics.
Yeah, that's fine, Jerome, that's fine. Right now, politics can wait. We've got something much more urgent to consider at the moment.
Well, yes, sir, of course. As a matter of fact, it's been on my mind all during the reception.
I'm glad to hear that. You come up with any ideas?
Well, sir, I don't like to say this about the dead, but with that girl's reputation, I don't think there's a jury in Virginia City that would convict little Joe.
Jerome, what a dreadful thing to say.
Well, I'm sorry, sweetheart, but we're fighting for a man's life.
Hiram, suppose we took Jake Parsons' buggy back up to Indian Leap again and have John Hardner show us exactly what he saw.
That might be an excellent idea, Ben. If there's any possibility of showing that John Hardner was mistaken, why, I think...
That's just it.
But what happens, sir, if it confirms John Hardner's statement? Then we'll have no case at all in court. No, sir, I think we've got to fight this out on the basis of the reputations of that girl and Mr. Cartwright's son.
Mr. Bell, we are going on the assumption that little Joe is innocent.
Yes, sir, of course. I'm just pointing out that legally we might be taking unwarranted risk.
You got a point there, Ben. There would be some risk involved.
It's a risk I'm perfectly willing to take.
I hope we don't regret this, Mr. Wood.
I want the man that shot my son.
The rifle, Jake. Put it down. You won't need it in here.
Where's Ben Cartwright?
I'm right here, Jake.
Pete took the law into his own hands, tried to shoot an unarmed man. Mr. Cartwright did the only thing he could do in self-defense.
It's true, Jake. I saw it.
Hardner, seems to me like you jumped the fence. You was going to testify little Joe was with my Mary. Now you're siding with Cartwright's.
I'm not siding with anybody. I saw little Joe and Mary up at Indian Leap. I'll say it under oath. I also saw Pete trying to shoot an unarmed man. I'll swear to that, too.
I had no choice. I'm sorry it happened, Pete.
One of mine dead, one shot. And all I hear anybody say is, I'm sorry.
There's one thing we can do, Jake. We can take your buggy up to Indian Leap again in the morning.
Why?
So John Hardner can show us where he was when the buggy passed him. We can all get a good look at what he saw.
Hardner says he's seen little Joe. You want him to change his mind?
My son's life is at stake. I'm just trying to get at the truth.
All I'm thinking about is my daughter was killed. And your son did it.
Well, now, supposing it wasn't little Joe. Suppose it was somebody else. Wouldn't you want to know who it was?
All right, boys. We'll give him that chance. But if we find what I think we will, there won't be no need of holding a trial.
John, is this as close as you got to that buggy?
Just about the exact spot, Ben.
Well, we can't see the man's face, and we're afoot. How can you see him sitting as high as you are?
I didn't say I could see his face from here. I sure saw his paint horse tied on behind the buggy.
And he probably turned and looked when you got down on the road.
Stop putting words in his mouth. Move the buggy on down the road. Now you ride down to the road and make your turn.
I remember. Now I can tell you how I knew it was Little Joe. When the buggy made the curve, the man had his foot on the dash. I could see his leg.
What does that prove? When did you see his face?
I didn't have to see his face. His leg was enough. He was wearing his gun tied down to his left leg. That's how I knew it was Little Joe.
Well, what'd you find out?
Just what we knew we'd find. Well, Deputy, what do you say now?
Inquest will be in my office at 2 o'clock. I'm just seeing to it that whatever needs doing is done proper and legal.
My sister's dead. The man that pushed her off that cliff is still alive. You call that legal and proper?
I said there'd be an inquest and a trial.
There'll be a trial and a hanging.
We heard what you said, Mr. Hardner. And if you don't say it again so everybody can hear, you won't live to get off that witness chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hardner. Will the foreman of the coroner's jury please rise? Have you reached a verdict?
Yeah, we sure have.
State it.
Mary Parson was murdered by Little Joe Cartwright.
Jim, you know better than to say that. All you're to determine is the cause of death. Anything else will be decided by a judge and jury at the proper time.
Well, that is the cause of death. Little Joe Cartwright pushed her off of that cliff.
If the jury finds that she died by violence, it'll have to be it. Deputy Conley.
Joseph Cartwright, you're hereby bound over to stand trial for the murder of Mary Parson.
Thought owning a paint pony and being left-handed could get a fellow in so much trouble.
Hiram, the boys and I know that Joseph didn't murder Mary Parson. I don't care what anybody says. He didn't do it.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
What Joe just said about the pony and being left-handed.
No?
What about it? Well, now, Hardner didn't say he saw the man's face. He just said he saw a paint pony and a left-handed gun.
Yeah, it was enough to hang me.
Yeah, but is it?
What are you driving at, Adam?
Well, why would Mary Parson tell her father that she was going out with Little Joe when we know that she wasn't?
Yeah. Why would she, Paul?
Well, obviously because she didn't want her father to know that she was going out with whoever it was.
Yeah, and whoever it was must have a left-handed gun and a paint pony, right?
How about that, Hiram?
Fine, but how do we prove it?
Well, first, let's find this whoever it was. Hoss, you check with the harness makers. Adam, check the livery stables.
Right.
Hiram, I don't know why we didn't think of this before.
Ben, if this works, I'll get Jerome Bell working on it right away.
Sweetheart, what a surprise.
I really shouldn't be here, but I wanted to talk to you. And Papa said you'd be here working.
I'm glad you're here. I'm always glad to see you. The shy and proper Betty May.
All these books. Do you have to go through them all?
I'm planning little Joe's defense. Or trying to. If I had it my way in the first place, we'd be in a lot better shape.
Jerome, I'm sure Father knew what he was doing.
I hope he lets me take over this case. I feel I can do as well as any man alive in that courtroom. But I have to win your father over first. Sweetheart, you could help me with that.
This is such an important case, Jerome. Little Joe's life's at stake.
That's what I mean. If I win this case, I'll be the most sought-after lawyer in Virginia City. We can get all the things that we've planned for. Your father will take me on as a full partner and... well, who knows? If the governor was a lawyer, that's the way he started.
Of course, Jerome. I'm sure all those things will come in time. But right now, we must be thinking about little Joe.
Thinking isn't enough. The evidence clearly indicates his guilt. Well, I don't think he's guilty. But it's what I can convince the jury of that counts.
Well, I can't believe he's guilty. Jerome, I don't believe he'd push anyone off a cliff.
Given sufficient provocation, any man can commit a murder. That's not my definition, sweetheart, but you'll find it in any legal text just the same.
It was such a shuddery feeling sitting in that buggy on Indian Leap. I dreamed about that girl, only she didn't have a face. You know, I always was a little envious of her. She was such a pretty girl.
I never paid much attention to her. She was cheap and flashy. But let's not talk about morbid things, darling. Let's talk about us. You will help me with your father.
Jerome, must we always talk about my father?
Why not? We both want the same things. A big house, beautiful clothes, fine horses.
I just want happiness. I just want... No. I have to say this, Jerome. You want success so badly that sometimes I wonder if you want to marry me just because I'm Hiram Wood's daughter.
You silly girl. You know better than that. All I want is you.
Cartwright, I'd like a word with you. I said I'd like a word with you.
Well, to what do I owe this unexpected pleasure, huh? I thought you and Jerome were going to the governor's ball this evening.
We are, Father, a little later. Jerome went to the hotel to change. He's been working so hard. I was lonesome, so I thought I'd wait here. Am I interrupting anything?
No, just catching up on some odds and ends. Here, sit down. I'm sorry I've been neglecting you lately, darling, but I just never seem to get caught up. Now this nasty business with the Parson girl has to come up.
I know, Dad. It's been a strain on Jerome, too. I wish you both could slow down.
Now you sound just like your mother used to.
I can't imagine Mother ever scolding you about anything.
She was a wonderful woman. Wonderful woman. I just hope that you and Jerome will have the happiness your mother and I had. Of course you will.
I hope so, Dad.
Well, you don't have to sound so desperate about it.
Dad, we don't have to lie to one another. Most girls my age are married 5 years and have a family. I'm not the prettiest girl in town, and I just don't want to make a mistake.
No. What's this? Have you and your young man have words or something?
I suppose I'm being silly. It's just that Sometimes it seems as if Jerome loves his work more than he does me.
Oh, so that's it. Well, sweetheart, I doubt very much that you're the first woman ever to say that. Jerome's a very ambitious young man.
That's it. Ambitious. So terribly ambitious. It frightens me. Dad, at the reception, when Jerome met the governor, it was just as if suddenly I ceased to exist.
Baby, now you are being silly.
I suppose I am. I shouldn't be bothering you with my troubles.
Of course you should. Of course you should. That's what I'm here for. Now, you run along and have a good time. World looks a lot prettier under a full moon, you know.
Thanks for talking to me, Dad.
Betty May, what are you doing here? Is anything wrong?
No, there's nothing wrong. I just wanted to see you.
You shouldn't have come here.
Why? I'm in love with you. I was lonesome.
Someone might have seen you. You know how the gossips are in this town.
Let them talk. I'm not ashamed of my love. Are you?
Of course not. I just didn't want you to see how I live. I'll be with you in a moment.
But I want to see where you live. I want to know everything about you. I want to know every thought you have.
Come on, sweetheart, let's go.
Who's the girl in the picture?
Well, just some girl, nothing important.
That's a picture of Mary Parson, isn't it?
I picked it up today in connection with the trial.
You knew her, didn't you?
Betty May, you're being unreasonable. Being a lawyer, I meet many people.
If you had told me, I wouldn't have cared. I knew there were other women. Jerome, why did you lie to me?
There wasn't anything to tell you. There wasn't anything between us.
Then why did you lie?
Well, I didn't want your father to know. I was afraid he might object. Darling, please, let's forget it.
She was very lovely, wasn't she? She was prettier than I am. Younger and prettier.
That isn't so. You're the prettiest girl I've ever seen. Darling, I love you. Don't you know that?
No, I don't know it. I wish I did, but it isn't so. I guess I knew that right from the start.
How can you say that? After all the plans we've made.
A big house, fine clothes, the best carriage in town, the governor's mansion. Those were your plans, Jerome, not mine.
Well, what's wrong with that? Why do you object to those things?
Mary Parson couldn't get them for you, could she?
I told you to forget about Mary Parsons.
Can you forget her?
She was nobody. She was cheap. She was trying to blackmail me. She was going to go to you.
You killed her.
No. It was an accident, sweetheart. We went for a ride. It'll be all right. I'll win the case. Little Joe will go free, and we can get all the things that we've always wanted. What are you going to do?
I'm going to tell my father.
Betty May, I couldn't let you do that. I couldn't let you do anything like that. Betty May. Betty May. Betty May.
Right there, Cartwright.
Don't move.
You want to see your paw, don't you? Move.
What's this all about, Pa?
Oh, these stupid people think they can take the law into their own hands.
We don't think it, we know it. We're gonna move on that jail, take out your son, and string him up.
Little Joe didn't kill your Mary. We got the proof. There's a bill of sale for a paint pony.
Let's see.
Here's one for a left-handed holster signed by John Solly.
Jerome Bell.
That's right. Do you believe us now, Jake?
I hope this ain't a Cartwright trick. All right. We're gonna pay a visit to Mr. Jerome Bell. All right, boys.
Stay away! All of you! You try anything and I'll throw her off of here!
Bell, it's no use! We found out!
Well, you don't try to stop me!
You better go to your daughter.
Jerome.
Betty May, it's all right. It's all right.
I don't think I could ever get used to living in there.
Good to have you out, Joe.
Oh, I don't know. It's been kind of peaceful around the Ponderosa the last couple of days.
Little Joe.
Sergeant Hines? Sergeant Hines?
Yeah, Major.
The dream is at hand. Sound reveille.
Hey, soldier boy. Kingsley. Reveille.
We here? We've arrived.
Virginia City. Ripe and ready.
You did it, sir.
That's right, Major. You got us here just like you said you would. Now, me and Soldier Boy here, we're gonna do our job. Ain't we, Soldier Boy?
Fine. Now you know every detail of the operation. The hotel you're staying at, the man you're to see. And, Sergeant, for the insurance of our success, stay away from Mr. Barleycorn.
How do you mean, Major?
Booze, Sergeant, booze. Stay away from it.
Everything will go like clockwork, sir. I'll see to it.
Yeah, you just do that, Soldier Boy. Hey, Major, this Ponderosa you're going to, you sure you can trust them Cartwrights?
That's the most painful part of all. They trust me. Oh!
Bye.
Could any of you sheep herders direct me to the Ponderosa Ranch estate?
Come on out there, you old goat. I can get a good look at you. Come here. By golly, it's good to see you. It's been a long time.
Seems a century, Ben.
Yeah. I want you to meet my son, Hoss. Hoss, this is Major John F. Cayley, one of my oldest and probably wildest friends.
How are you, sir?
How are you, Hoss?
And this is the closest you'll ever get to a human bird in your lifetime, Hoss.
He fly?
Does he fly? By golly, he's probably got a pair of wings stowed in that wagon right now.
Better than wings, Benjamin. Has the site been selected for my experiment?
Oh, yeah. I picked out a clearing for, as you requested. Now, what kind of experiments is the Army having out here, anyway?
All in good time, Ben. All in good time.
All right, by golly. Come on, I want you to meet my two other boys.
Hines, get up. Hines?
What do you want, soldier boy?
Hines, this is the bank. Get it? Now, don't make a mistake.
That's real considerate of you, soldier boy. That ain't bad drawing, boy. Not bad at all. Hey, you know, when I get to be rich and famous, maybe I'll let you paint a picture of me.
Just keep sober long enough for us to carry out the Major's plan.
Now, old John, the Major here, he just stood on this high bluff, like a young Atlas, with this pair of homemade wings strapped to his shoulders, waiting for a strong wind to come along.
Well, what happened, Bo?
Well, he just stood there waiting, and he waited, and he waited, and he waited. What, about 2 hours, John?
That's right.
Yeah. Just stood there waiting, and then suddenly, that strong wind come along and just blew him right off the bluff.
Did he fly?
Did he fly?
Broke both legs.
I assume that was your last flight, huh?
Oh, no, that only served to whet my enthusiasm. Boys, I'm convinced that someday we'll be up there. We'll be up there. We'll have an access to the skies that even the birds and the angels will envy.
John, how's that beautiful little girl of yours? Although I guess by now she must be a beautiful big girl and married, eh?
Diana. No, she's back east, Ben, in the family home.
Now, why in thunderation didn't you bring her along with you?
Oh, Ben, the fact is my daughter and I have been poles apart. My head's been in the clouds, and she, like her mother, God rest her soul, has had both feet firmly planted on the ground.
Well, John, it's awfully good to see you. Even though you did have to push that team of yours halfway across the continent by yourself.
I have a couple of Army men with me. I sent them on ahead to the hotel in Virginia City.
Now, why did you do that? They should be right here in the Ponderosa with you.
Oh, I wouldn't think of it. I couldn't impose, Ben.
Impose? Adam, you're going into town this morning, aren't you? Now, he could bring him back.
No, I think it would be better, Ben, if they...
Nonsense. It's all taken care of.
There. John, whatever this wild scheme of yours is, we'll help you.
Oh, thank you, Ben. Thank you.
Let's have some more coffee.
I'd sort of like to see what that experiment's all about myself, wouldn't you, Joe?
Well, it has to do with jumping off a cliff and trying to fly. I better get Doc Martin right away.
I'm Private Kingsley, sir.
Yes, Private.
I have some official Army papers here from Major John Cayley, who's staying at the Ponderosa. He'd like them deposited in your safe for a few days.
Oh, yes. Ben mentioned that the Army was planning on doing some work out here.
That's right, sir.
I'll be glad to keep them for you.
I'll be back for those papers in a day or two.
That'll be fine.
Come on in. You want something, mister?
I'm Adam Cartwright from the Ponderosa.
So?
Major Cayley's already out at the ranch, and well, we'd like to have you and your friend come out there and stay.
Well, that's real nice of you, mister. But our orders are to stay right here in town.
And the Major mentioned that, but it really isn't necessary. We have plenty of room.
Mister, I've been in this army a long time. Major gave me an order to stay right here. I'll leave when the Major orders me to leave.
Sergeant, I was supposed to see the Major this afternoon anyway. Good to have you show me the way, sir. I'll find out from the Major what he wants us to do, Sergeant.
Yeah, you just do that, soldier boy. In the meantime, I'm going to find out what the inside of a Virginia City saloon looks like.
Don't mind the sergeant, sir. He's old line Army. Hasn't got much imagination. I don't believe we've met formal. I'm Private Kingsley.
Adam Cartwright. Can I help you with anything?
No, I don't believe so.
It's nice artwork. Very professional. You do it?
Yes, it's one of my hobbies.
The Army take such use of your artistic talents, Private?
I've done some drawing for Major Cayley.
Artwork? Wagons full of equipment? Experiments? Just what is the Army doing at the Ponderosa?
The Major didn't tell you?
No, I came here just as they were heading for the testing site.
That's just like the Major. Probably wanted you all to see it before he said anything.
See what?
He's going into the sky, Mr. Cartwright. Right up into the sky.
All right, grab the ropes. Haul it down. That's it, Ben. That's fine. Hold it steady. Good boy, little Joe. Stay with it. Hang on to it, Huss. Put your weight behind it. That is, don't let go now. Hold it steady. That's it. That's fine. Hold it steady. Good boy. Stay with it. Hang on to it, Huss. Put your weight behind it. That is, don't let go now. Hold it steady. That's it. That's it, Ben. Hold fast now, boys. Just about got it. All right, let go. We'll let the winch do the work.
Hey, Johnny. Never seen anything like this before. It's fantastic.
Hey, Pa, shouldn't Hoss let go of that thing?
Hoss, let loose.
Oh, don't let go! Hoss!
Boys, come on down here. Johnny,
You got it. How do you like being carried along?
Hey, Pa! Just like a big bird.
Oh, help! Hey, Pa!
Boys, hang on tight now. Hang on tight.
Hey!
Oh! Boss! Oh, hey! Oh, hold on!
Johnny, how do you stop this contraption?
Take it easy, Ben. You know I wouldn't let anything happen to you boys.
Boss! Oh, hold on!
Come on.
Oh, no! Oh, boss! Hey!
Hang on!
Oh, don't let go! Boss!
Johnny. Hoss, now come on. Get out of there. You've had enough.
Oh, Pa, just one
I
more.
said you've had enough.
I know just how you feel, Hoss. That boy is a born balloonist.
Oh, it's just like a big bird. You gotta try it.
Sure, just like a big bird. You got to try it. Well, this flying may be all right for little youngsters like you, Johnny, but...
You'll change your mind, Ben, once you've tried it.
I don't know. I tried it. I'm not going to change my mind.
Joe, you're too young to be that old. Ain't you got no adventure in your soul?
Oh, sure. I got adventure in my soul. It's my body I'm worried about.
Don't you worry, Hoss. Don't worry. We'll show 'em. Tomorrow we're really gonna fly.
Hot dogs.
Johnny, I think we ought to have one of the boys guard this contraption overnight.
No, it's perfectly safe, Ben. No wind.
I wasn't thinking about the wind. I was thinking about the neighbors. You know, they come along and see a contraption like this, think of some kind of sky demon or something, start emptying their guns into it. Now, one of you boys stay.
I'll stay, Pa.
On second thought, I think we'll feel safe if little Joe stays here.
Yeah, don't worry, Hoss. It'll be safe. I'm a lover, not a flyer.
This, Ben, is my dream.
Wow. Look at the size of that balloon, Pa.
400,000 cubic feet of hydrogen gas.
What?
You have to build them big if they're going to carry passengers across the ocean.
Across the ocean?
Yeah, that ocean's mighty wide. Look, I don't want to sound naive, but what would you do if something happened to the balloon?
These two auxiliary balloons set us down on the water light as a feather.
Then what, swim?
Float, boy, float.
Yeah, by George, it does look sort of like a boat, don't it, Pa?
It is a boat. And these two collapsible masts. Now, if anything should happen to the Queen and she's forced down, all you do is pull these out and slip on the sails.
Look at the inside of that thing, Pa. It's as plushy as a Virginia City hotel.
Yeah, it sure is. John? Is this practical?
What dream was ever practical, Ben? When you dreamed of building the Ponderosa, was it practical? But you achieved it because you believed in it.
Ponderosa's different, John. Anyway, I had my sons to help me build that, and Providence.
Providence hasn't smiled on me. The winds are rising, and the years hang heavy on my shoulders.
Oh, what are you talking about? You're a major in the United States Army. You have the respect of a fine circle of friends.
I'm a pioneer, Ben. I'm standing on the fringe of a new frontier without limits. Can't you see it? Skyways around the world. Continents are just waiting to be linked by airships.
Airships?
And the Army is backing you in this idea.
Well, not exactly. They were intrigued enough with my designs, but I'm afraid they found them too visionary.
Well, John, I'm sure you know what you're doing.
I know what you're thinking, Ben. A lot of other people are skeptical. Even my own daughter thinks I'm a silly old fool.
Oh, John, I'm sure that isn't so.
Oh, it's true. It's true. She never could summon up 1 ounce of faith in my dream, my plans.
Well, I'm gonna go check on little Joe and that balloon. See you in a minute.
John,
Now, I'm not doubting you. But how are you going to do all this?
I'll build the Atlantic Queen, Ben. I promise you that nothing will stand in my way.
Well, but you said yourself the Army isn't backing you. Where are you going to get all the money?
I'll get the money. My backers have already been selected. Man will fly, Ben, no matter what the cost. Man will fly.
This town. Hadn't we better get going?
Bill Kingsley.
Diana, I didn't recognize you. What are you doing here in Virginia City?
Where's my father?
He isn't going to like it when he finds you here.
Where is he?
Private Kingsley, why don't you introduce me to the young lady?
I'm sorry. This is Diana Cayley, the Major's daughter. Diana, this is Adam Cartwright.
How do you do?
Cartwright? That's where my father is. The Ponderosa. You're Ben Cartwright's son, aren't you? Please take me to my father. I must see him.
Private Kingsley, why don't you get Miss Cayley's luggage? You and Private Kingsley know each other, I take it?
We knew each other. It's all over now.
Can you get the feeling this is going to be a long, cold ride?
Joey, way up in the sky.
Hey, horse, come on, let me down.
Hey, Joe, I didn't know you was so fond of ballooning. How high you want to go?
What? I don't want to go any higher. Now, let me down.
There ought to be something around here I could cut that rope with. How high did you say you wanted to go, Joe?
Hey, cut that out!
You say cut it?
Hey, no! No! Don't cut it!
The higher you go, Joe, the prettier it is. Hey, Joe, you should have.
Private Kingsley, sir. Here to see Major Cayley.
Oh, yes, of course. Ben Cartwright, Private. I'm very glad to have you here. The Major's inside. Won't you go in? Hello, Adam.
I'm Diana.
That's right. Well, I'm Ben Cartwright.
How do you do, Mr. Cartwright?
Diana?
Diana Cayley.
Diana Cayley? Well, your father said you were back east. Does he know you're here?
Well, not yet. I thought I'd surprise him.
Well, he'll be surprised.
How did she find out where we were?
As I said, sir, I don't know. Everything in town is ready.
Good.
Don't you think her being here might complicate things?
Don't worry, son. I can handle her.
I'm glad somebody can.
Johnny? Johnny, you old W were keeping her as a surprise, weren't you?
I'm afraid that Father is just as surprised to see me as you are, Mr. Cartwright.
Of course, I'm delighted to see you, Diana, but...
And now, Father, it's quite simple. I was dusting your study, and on your desk I found your letter from Mr. Cartwright, welcoming you to the Ponderosa. So I decided that since I'd never been west, this was the perfect opportunity. And here I am. I hope it's all right.
Oh, well, you can bet your boots it's all right. I'm very happy that you're here. And I'm sure my sons are happy you're here, too.
Major, if you don't mind, I'd like to go on out to the balloon site, make sure everything's in good working order.
You have my permission.
Well, Robert Kingsley, I'll show you the way. Would you like to come along, Diana?
Oh, goodness, no. I think I've seen enough of Father's old balloons. I think I'll just stay here and freshen up a bit.
Well, of course. Now, you just make yourself right at home. The Ponderosa's yours. Come along, Private.
All right, Father. Why did you come here?
You read the letter? Ben Cartwright, my friend, offered me a piece of land upon which to conduct my experiment.
I also read some letters from the Adjutant General's office.
I didn't know they'd miss me so soon.
What did you expect, Father? You're in the United States Army. You can't just go wandering off whenever you feel like it.
They told me to select a site.
Yes, in Pennsylvania, but not 2,000 miles away in Nevada.
I am in command of that balloon, and I will select the site. The Army was willing enough to utilize my experience in developing observation balloons. But when I presented my real plan to the top generals, The nearsighted fools couldn't turn it down quick enough.
Father, we've been over all this before. What does this have to do with your being here now? They want to know where you are. Don't you understand that?
They'll find out soon enough.
Don't you understand? Nobody wants your plans. They are impractical.
The winds are rising, my daughter. And I must move skyward.
Just once, will you try to listen to me, please? Your Atlantic Queen is never going to be built. Never. Now, please, please accept that fact.
I can't accept it. I will never accept it. My airships will fill the sky, over every ocean, over every city of every land. Man will find his destiny through the air, and my Atlantic Queen will lead the way. Private Kingsley.
Good evening, sir.
How did you find things at the balloon site?
Everything's ready, sir.
Good. Now, you have your orders. You'll be able to withdraw the papers from the bank in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Now, what about Sergeant Hines? Is he ready?
Don't worry, sir. He'll be at the bank in the morning as scheduled.
And you, are you ready?
I'm more than ready, sir. You know that.
Good. I think we'd better be at the balloon site crack of dawn. We'll fill the balloon to capacity. That'll give you time enough to get to Virginia City and get your job done there.
Yes, sir.
I think we'd both better turn in early, Bill. Tomorrow's going to be a most momentous day.
I'm afraid I'm too excited for sleeping now, sir. I thought I'd take a little walk first. Maybe a long time before I have my feet on the ground again.
I understand.
Good night, sir.
Good night, Bill.
Bill. Bill, I want to talk to you. Bill,
Diana.
I've been so lost without you. No one to turn to. Father acting so strangely.
Major Cayley will be all right, Diana. You shouldn't worry.
But I do worry. Why is Father here without the Army's consent?
Whatever gave you that idea?
Letters from the Army asking his whereabouts.
Well, that's easily explainable. It's just that the experiment is a secret. It's a matter of utmost importance. Naturally, the Army wants to cover it.
And how long will it remain secret?
Until tomorrow.
Tomorrow you'll tell me?
Tomorrow you'll know.
The gondola's real plushy, and it's shaped a whole lot like a ship. Anyhow, up above it, he's got this one great big balloon, and then he's got two little ones on either side in case a big one pops. He's going to call it the Atlantic Queen.
Oh, it sounds pretty elaborate. I'd like to see those drawings.
Well, Pa and Hoss already signed up for the first trip across the ocean.
Yeah, that'll be pretty exciting. I wonder if you'll ever get a chance to build it.
Well, if I know John Cayley, he'll build it. Come on, let's go out to the site and give him a hand.
Pa, there's one thing I don't understand. What knowledge can the Major gain by taking the balloon up here that he couldn't have learned back east?
Gee, I don't know. I never thought of that. Maybe the winds are better. I'm no balloonist. Come on, are you coming?
No, I'll come out later with Diane after she comes down.
All right, come on, boys.
From what I've seen of Diana, I wouldn't mind switching jobs with you.
Yeah, me too. She's cute as a bug, ain't she?
Yes, she is. Out, both of you.
Oh, wait a minute. How come the older members of the family get all the privileges?
Yeah, how come?
Well, precisely because we are older.
And wiser.
Yeah, so, let's go.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Where is everyone?
They all went out to the balloon site. Have some breakfast?
Oh, no, thank you. Just some coffee.
All right, sit down. I'll get it for you. Well, I hear they're going to fly the balloon today.
Yes, Bill Kingsley told me.
What else did he tell you?
I don't know what you mean.
Diana, what's your father really doing here?
Apparently, he's on some secret mission for the Army.
What kind of secret mission?
He couldn't say.
You know that what they're doing here is wrong. But the Army hasn't given its approval at all.
I may not agree with my father, but I know he'd never be part of anything that was wrong.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
You know where Bill Kingsley is?
He's at the test site with Father, helping him get ready for the flight.
No, he's not. He borrowed a horse this morning to ride into Virginia City to pick up some important papers from the bank.
At the bank? Today's Sunday. The banks are closed.
I know.
Adam, what do you think's going on?
Well, that's why I'm going into Virginia City. To find out.
Mr. Herschel.
Private Kingsley, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry to bother you this morning, sir, but I've been ordered by Major Cayley to pick up those papers I left at your bank the other morning.
I think it can wait until tomorrow, Private. This is Sunday. I'm on my way to church.
I'm very sorry, sir. Orders. Sergeant Hines is waiting at the bank for us now.
Those papers must be mighty important.
They are, sir. Believe me, they are.
Very well, Private. We'll get them.
Herschel? Sergeant Hines.
How do you do, sir?
How do, Sergeant? What's the meaning of this, Sergeant?
Fill it.
Well, you'll never get away with it.
Hurry it up. Turn around.
No.
Turn around.
About full, Major. She's tugging at the ropes.
More ballast, little Joe.
Right.
That ought to do it. 30,000 cubic feet of hydrogen gas, gentlemen.
That ought to take you clean around the world, Major.
It might just do that, Haas.
Listen, if them soldiers don't show up, you reckon you can make room for me?
Hey, Major, where are those men?
They ought to be here any minute now.
How's it look at the bank?
Not a stir. It's quiet as an empty bank safe.
Now remember, let's walk out of here slowly. And then we'll get the horses. And we'll ride out slowly. We haven't got a thing to worry about. Money's concealed. Just be a couple of soldiers going out to the Ponderosa. Let's go.
I'm going, soldier boy. But you're staying right here.
Hines, put that away.
Soldier boy, I'm getting mighty tired of taking orders from a runny-nosed private. Now, you hand over that saddlebag.
I'm taking this money to the Major.
You ain't taking nothing, soldier boy. But I am.
The Major's whole life is in this saddlebag. And I'll die before I'll see you put your filthy hands on it.
Sweet dreams, soldier boy.
What's holding everybody up? Adam and Diane should be here.
Don't worry, Pa. They'll be along. They wouldn't miss this for anything.
They took the money.
What's all the excitement, Mr. Herschel?
The bank's been robbed. Somebody get the sheriff.
Well, do you know who did it?
Of course I know. It was those two soldiers. They got me to open that safe on some pretense about army papers. Yeah. Somebody get the sheriff.
Bill.
Gotta stop Hines.
Where's the money?
Hines got it. Gotta stop him.
Why? Why did you do it?
It was to build the Atlantic Queen. The Major staked everything on getting this money. You gotta get me to him before he takes that flight. Please, before Hines gets to him.
Well, let's get started before the sheriff gets here.
Sergeant Hines reporting, sir. I have the documents.
Where is young Kingsley?
Can I speak to you alone a minute, sir?
Excuse me a minute, Ben.
Major, we can leave here right now.
Where is Private Kingsley?
He ain't coming.
What do you mean, not coming?
He caught a bullet, sir. He's dead.
Dead?
Well, Major, we ain't got time to worry about him. We gotta leave while the leaving's good.
How? How? What happened? What went wrong? It was planned. It was all carefully planned.
Major, I got enough money here to build that balloon of yours. Now, let's get in that basket and get out of here.
Anything wrong, John?
We're going up, Ben.
What about Private Kingsley?
He won't be making this voyage. Give us a hand with the basket.
You boys mind releasing those secondary ropes?
It was all so carefully planned.
Release those ropes.
Johnny, you ready?
Yes, Ben, it's time. Release the ropes.
that winch rope!
Hold it, Pa!
What is it, Adam?
The Major's been using us. His men just robbed the bank.
What?
The balloon's just a scheme to get away with the money.
Kingsley, what happened at that bank? Seems the sergeant had a dream of his own.
It'll make no difference now, Major. All right, Cartwright, cut that rope.
Don't do it, man! Don't do it! Sorry, Ben. I only meant to borrow the money just until the Atlantic Queen could be built. I was going to pay it back, every cent, with interest.
You'll be all right, sir. We'll take care of you.
No, Bill. It's the end of me. And the dream.
Oh, nonsense, Johnny. You'll be right as rain as soon as Doc Martin gets out here to have a look at you.
The wind is rising, Ben. I mustn't fail. I must ride the wind.
Hey, look, Pa.
Bon voyage, Johnny.
Adam is a very sick boy, Ben. There's no point in hiding the truth. It's out of my hands.
Doctor? What exactly does that mean?
He'll reach a point of crisis tonight. If he passes it, all well and good. If not, stay close to him, Ben. I'll stop by in the morning.
Thank you.
Pa, Horse and I'll take turns sitting up with him.
Yeah, Pa. Pa, Adam's going to pull through this all right. Don't you worry none. You going up and get some rest. We don't want you to be sick, too.
Oh, you boys get to sleep. I'll sit up with them. Elizabeth. Elizabeth, my love.
Captain? It was a good passage, Captain. It's good to be home.
Aye, mister. It's always good to be home.
Aye, Captain. But no sooner are you home, sir, than you can't wait to get back to sea again.
Quite a philosopher, aren't you, mister?
I can recognize a man with salt water in his veins, sir.
But I can't say the same for you. However, we managed to bring the Wanderer home safely in spite of you.
I'll tell the truth, Captain. I'm probably the best bait you've ever had.
Huh?
Aloft there! Reefing your main topsail!
Aye,
Father, I didn't expect you until Wednesday.
That's what kind of a master your father is, girl. 3 days ahead of schedule we are. Have you missed me?
Missed you. I'd sooner miss a snaggle-toothed octopus. You look tired. Was it a hard voyage?
Aye. But we managed to keep our spirits up, eh, lad?
Aye, sir. Hello, Elizabeth.
It's good to see you, Ben Cartwright.
It's good to see you. Your father invited me to supper.
And a pig's eye. He invited himself.
Well, either way, you're welcome, Ben.
My stomach will be eternally grateful.
Well, you two come along, and I'll see what I can do.
The night was as black as the inside of a whale. And I tell you, girl, we had ice floes around us as big as cathedrals. But we beat our way through them, didn't we, lad?
Aye, sir. You have a real feeling for ice, Captain.
He has a real feeling for the sea. He knows it, and it knows him.
That's the only reason I put up with him. He's a bit of a tyrant, you know.
Oh, I know that well. I remember listening to him address his men on the afterdeck as a little girl. I used to hide behind the mast. Now, my men, we are going on a long voyage. If we pull together, you will find me a clever fellow. If we don't, you will find me a devil incarnate. That's all I've got to say. Now get below.
It's exactly what he says today.
That's enough about me.
This was a marvelous meal. I haven't eaten this well since the last time I was here.
Aye, she's a fair cook, like her mother was. Now, why don't you two youngsters go and see what the sunset is like? This old seafarer's about talked himself out for one evening.
I'll do the dishes later, Father.
You won't catch me going near them.
The world was all before them. Where to choose their place of rest. And Providence their guide. Do you remember that, Liz?
Yes, Paradise Lost. It was summer, and we were on a picnic, and you read to me.
I've thought of that picnic so many times. So many times. I brought a present for you.
Oh, Ben, how sweet.
I bought it in Amsterdam.
Oh, it's sweet. Oh, look at the faces of the cherubs. They're so round and pink.
Elizabeth, I've never known a woman with face so fair and eyes.
Oh, Ben, I've waited, I've hoped.
So that's what I get after 40 years, Halloran.
We just can't take any more chances with valuable cargoes, Captain Stoddard.
Chances? You blithering ingrate. I've sailed your ships around the Horn in the teeth of a gale a dozen times, while men half my age were beating their way into a snug harbor.
I'm sorry, Captain. The stockholders have voted to retire. There just isn't anything I can do about it.
Yes, there is something you can do. You can tell your blasted stockholders I hope they choke on their valuable cargoes. Now, get out of here.
Now, Mr. Halloran, how can you possibly think of retiring Captain Stoddard? Where would you find a man to replace him?
We already have. The board wants to see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, Mr. Cartwright.
Me?
Yes. They have voted to turn over the command of the Wanderer to you. Tomorrow at 10.
So that's how it is.
Captain, I
teach you everything you know. I treat you like a son.
Father.
Stay out of this, girl.
Captain, I knew nothing of any of this, sir.
That's your story, mister.
Sir, I don't want your command, sir.
Why not? You're young and bright and ambitious, aren't you? That's what these shipping people are looking for.
Captain, please, sir. Please listen to me.
I'm listening to no more. I've done enough listening for this night. I'm going out.
And when I come back, I don't want to see you in this house.
How could they do it to him, Ben? How could they? Ben, he didn't mean what he said. He doesn't know what he's saying.
Elizabeth, what about you? You don't think I could have...
Oh, I love you, Ben. I want you. Nothing's changed.
Give me another.
Now, see here, Captain. You best be getting hold of yourself, or you'll be forcing me to call the police.
Call him, you bug-eyed rum peddler. I'm a ship's master, I am. And I deserve some respect. It's all before I sailed away. One morning in July, I met a maid who bade me stay. Not on your life, said I.
I've been looking for you, Captain.
Who might you be, mister?
I'm Ben Cartwright, sir.
I've been sailing, mister. Sir? Sailing. It was stiff nor'wester. You know what they've done to me, mister? They retired me. I gave them my hands and my soul for 40 years. They've stripped me. Stripped me bare.
You're the best there is, sir. You'll get another ship.
Not in New England, I won't. It's true I am. You can see it in their faces.
Come along, sir. I'll take you home.
Let go of me, boy. I know who you are. You're the young shark who drained me of all you could get. And then took my command away from me. Come on. Let go of me. Get out of my sight before I break you in two. I'm getting drunk until all the world caves in on me. For it's all she was so very little.
Now, you listen to me, and you listen hard. I don't want your command. I never wanted it. But maybe you should be retired. Maybe you haven't the guts for sailing anymore. I thought you could walk proud no matter what the storm. But look at you. Now, you get up on your feet, Captain. And you walk out of here like a sailing master, or I'll knock you down again. I'm sorry I hit him, Liz. I just have too much respect for him to allow him to show his insides to a bunch of swabs who aren't good enough to wipe his boots.
Oh, Ben. What's he going to do? Get drunk every night? Try and drown away the fact that they don't want him anymore?
He'll find himself.
Where will he find himself? The sea is his home. His house is just a place to come back to.
Liz, this had to happen sooner or later.
Ben, what about us? How can I leave him now? Feeling alone, unwanted, discarded, as he must feel. He'll need me.
Well, we'll take him with us.
Oh, Ben, but he has no trade. He doesn't know anything but the sea.
Well, you can't live your life for everybody else.
Don't you understand? This is my father. I can't simply desert him. Don't you see that?
You said nothing's changed.
But nothing has. Not really.
I think it has. I'll be at the inn.
Go on. Walk out. I don't care what you do. I'm not getting on my knees to beg you to understand me.
Elizabeth, what I said, I didn't
Don't
mean...
say anything. I was coming to you.
It took me all night to realize I had no right to force you into a decision like that.
You had every right.
No, Liz, I don't want us to live in guilt. I care about your father, too. He's been good to me, as good as any man could be.
But you don't owe him anything.
Yes, Liz, I do. I owe him. I owe him my respect for being the kind of man I admire. I have an idea I'd like to talk to him about. Now, he may not listen to me. He may throw me out of the house again, but at least I'd like to try.
What is it, Ben?
Well, I think it's something that, well, so that he can lead his life and we can lead ours.
Elizabeth?
His coffee, Father.
Suppose I ought to thank you for knocking me down.
That isn't necessary, Captain.
I will dispense with it. Man in his cups often makes a fool of himself.
I've had that pleasure, sir.
I raved quite a bit, didn't I?
Well, as much as might be expected under the circumstances, sir.
You spoke your own mind, too.
With due respect, sir.
You don't fight them, Father. So you should just forget them. There are other things in this life besides going to sea, you know.
You're a sound man, Captain. You can start over again at something else.
I've been 40 years on the deck of my own ship, mister. How'd you expect me to start something else at the twilight of my life?
Captain, I'd like you to go into business with me.
What kind of nonsense is this?
Captain, I'm through with the sea, too. I have a dream, sir, to go west. It'll take a good deal of money. And until I can afford to go, I'm using what little money I have to go into business as a ship's chandler. I want you as a partner.
A ship's chandler?
Yes, sir.
Captain Abel Morgan started a ship's chandler? I'd rather have me throat cut, sir.
It's an honorable profession.
Scrubbing floors is an honorable profession. I'm a man of the sea, mister. If I don't breathe salt spray for 6 months in the year, my lungs choke up.
There's no more sailing for you, Father, and you know it. What are you going to do? Sit here in this house day after day, feeling useless and miserable? That's no life for you. I don't want to see you end up like those men on the wharf with their dead dreams.
This has nothing to do with you, girl.
It has everything to do with me. Ben is willing to invest his money in you. The least you can do is give him a chance.
I don't want to give him anything. I don't know why he wants to invest in me anyway.
Because I have faith in you, Captain, in spite of your stubbornness and bad temper.
Huh?
And because I'm in love with your daughter.
You work fast, mister. I don't want anybody to come into my house and tell me how to run my life. I've no patience with being a merchant. I've no patience with aught but ships. Elizabeth, you're crying. Why, I haven't seen you cry since you were a little girl. And I go to sea.
You're at sea now, Father. But without compass or charts, without stars. You don't know where you're going.
Aye, girl, that's true. I'm sorry for it. But I couldn't be a shopkeeper. I haven't the head or the hands for it. Don't you see?
Oh, try, Father. Please try. Do this one thing for me. No, for yourself. I don't want to pity you.
Benjamin.
Sir?
Got a little money. I'll buy an equal partnership.
Sir, will you also drink to our marriage?
I think I can drink enough for both.
I'll let you do it. Captain, thank you very much indeed. Come back and see us again. Darling, are you sure you're feeling all right?
I feel marvelous, Ben.
Right. I still don't think you should be working now.
You can't lock me up. I'm not that sort of woman. You know that. Besides, we're doing so well. You need me.
It's impossible to argue with women. But please do take care of yourself. Go in the back room and lie down and take a nap for an hour. I'm going to see about those new chronometers that just came in.
You treat me like a child.
Well, sometimes you act like a child. I love you, Liz.
I love you.
Now, do take care of yourself.
You growl like a bear. All right. All right.
See you later, Otto.
Benjamin.
Yes, sir?
You going to the wharf?
Oh, yes, I am, sir. Would you like to come along? There's a shipment of new chronometers and sextants coming in.
I suppose they're expensive, like that fancy new compass you bought us.
Well, it was worth it, sir. That compass brought a lot of customers in. Well, there's a whole new crop of young seamen who appreciate new ideas in navigation.
Whole new crop of young seamen.
Well, that does it for you, Ben. I'll come around to your place in the morning for the money.
That'll be fine, thank you, Ethan. It'll be there.
How's the captain holding up?
He does his job, but his mind, I'm afraid, is still at sea.
Hello, Mr. Cartwright.
Mandible?
You must be doing pretty well. Were you buying merchandise?
Well enough, sir.
You're an enterprising young man. Got to give you credit. Trying to compete with me.
Well, sir, we have less overhead, so we can afford to sell for less profit.
Well, I'm not really worried about your competition, Mr. Cartwright. But remember, whenever you decide to give up that little flea market of yours, I might be able to interest you in some real opportunity.
Thank you, sir. We'll make out.
The sea is whispering your name, Captain. If you stand on the wharf, you can hear it. Aye. There's some men who are born for a certain sort of life. If they leave it, desert it, they die.
I hear those whispers in my sleep, in my soul.
But do you care? Do you really care? 8 months is a long time, Captain. A compromise for living is no living at all.
I'll sail again, mister.
I believe you. I hear you've been up and down the coast looking for another command. I want to help you.
How can you help me?
By giving you a chance to buy a share of the ship.
What kind of a ship?
What difference does it make? She'll be seaworthy, she'll have her own crew, and you'll be her master.
I don't work for a man like you, Mandible.
Then you work for no man.
What's it you want me to command? A slaver?
I want you for better things. I want you to own a share of your own ship.
Aye. So I can drive my short-handed, ill-fed crew to their drop. I know what kind of business you run, Mandible, and I want no part of it. You hear? No part of it.
You're a dead man, Captain. As dead as the whispers of your name on the sea.
Well, hello, Captain. How's the mercantile business these days?
On your way, mister.
Well, he says it's good, mates. Aye, there'll always be a sailor to buy a few doodads now and then, don't you know? When are you going to start selling ribbons, Captain?
Laugh, you jackasses. Go ahead and laugh. I'll be master of my own ship again. Strike me dead. I want a ship, Mandible.
Would you like some coffee, Captain?
I want my money, Benjamin.
You what?
My money. Money I put into the business. And any profits that are coming to me.
Well, why do you want the money, Captain? Why do you want to pull out?
I don't have to explain to you, mister.
Captain, you're my partner. You have to explain everything to me. You come in here and you want to break an agreement. Now I want to know why.
You going to give me my share or not?
Well, I can't give it to you. I need all the cash on hand to pay Bell for those chronometers when he comes to collect tomorrow.
Blazes with the chronometers. I want my money, man.
Now, look, Captain, you go and get a good night's rest, and we'll talk about this in the morning.
We'll talk about it now.
Oh, sir, you're in no condition to talk.
So, you won't give me my money?
No, sir. I will not. What's the matter?
Oh, nothing. Just a kick, I suppose.
Really? I told you shouldn't be working now.
Oh, Ben. Sweet Ben, you're such a worrier.
Just closing up, Charlie.
Captain! Captain!
So Otto told you. Go on and say it.
Say what?
What you're thinking?
Does it matter?
I don't care what you think. My money and I took it.
Very simple. A simple explanation, eh? I wish I could understand it.
What difference does it make?
What difference? The difference between faithlessness and trust, the difference between selfishness and sacrifice.
Don't reprimand me, mister. I don't need your schoolmaster's lectures.
Just what do you need, Captain Stoddard?
I know what you want, mister. You want this old man out of the way.
No, sir, that's not true. But Elizabeth and I do want a life together.
I'm trying to give you a life. That's why I took the money. So that I could go back to sea, where I belong. I'm tired of seeing those faces laughing at me.
How could you? You make me ashamed to be your daughter.
Elizabeth.
Why did you come here? You kept me from the sea, making a shopkeeper of me. Now you turn my own flesh against me.
Captain. Elizabeth! Don't just stand there. Get Dr. Byram. Hurry.
Don't judge him too harshly, Ben.
No, darling, I won't.
He's covered with barnacles, like an old ship. He's struggling to keep afloat.
I know, darling. You mustn't talk.
I want to. Just for a minute. Oh, my face is so warm. Our child will be strong, Ben.
At this moment, I'm concerned only about you.
Oh, don't growl, my darling. The doctor said we'll both be fine. Oh, Ben, I can't wait to see our son.
How do you know it's going to be a boy?
A man like you, you'd have to have sons. Tall sons. Like the trees that will surround them.
Liz, you must rest.
Oh, don't go away, Ben. Read to me, just for a little while.
Same thing.
Hang on the slack, you back springers!
Something wrong, Captain?
There's a lot that's wrong.
It's a confused world.
It's not the world that's confused.
Can I buy you a drink, Captain?
No, you bought me enough.
Then why don't you just say what's on your mind?
I'm not commanding any ship for you.
That's where you're wrong. This paper says I own you for a term of 6 months.
Nobody owns me. You were wrong, Mr. Mandible. The sea doesn't whisper my name anymore. I listened. I couldn't hear it. I'm through with the sea for good and always.
Not quite, sir. Your last voyage has not yet begun.
I'm not commanding any slave ship for you, mister. If I'm through, I'm going to be through with dignity.
Dignity? What dignity do you have? You'll be on that dock tomorrow morning.
Give me that paper, mister.
Get out of here, you old drunk!
Don't you ever lay a hand on Mr. Mandible.
I have my dignity to uphold, too, Captain Stoddard. You have your chin and whiskers on that ship tomorrow morning. Bright and early, understand?
Of this frail world, by which the spirits perverse with easy intercourse pass to and fro to tempt or punish mortals, except whom God and good angels guard by special grace.
Ben, Do you think I'm one of those mortals that God and good angels will protect?
You of all people.
Then I will surely go to heaven when I die.
Why, were you worried?
Ben, look at that cloud. It's shaped just like an elephant.
You are a child. You know, I remember when I first met you, I thought you were a woman. Mrs. Callahan taking good care of you?
Oh, yes, she's a dear. She waits on me hand and foot. Go on reading, Ben. I love the sound of your voice. It's so friendly and reassuring. Like a lighthouse horn at night.
A lighthouse horn. On my experience, Adam, freely taste, and fear of...
Made up my mind.
What?
That's what it shall be.
What?
Our baby's name, Adam.
Adam. Adam? Adam! I like it.
I love you, Ben.
Elizabeth. Elizabeth, my love. I adore you.
I didn't know what to do. He has a paper, he says, that gives him the right of ownership to the shop.
Who says?
Mandible. I didn't want to leave the shop, but I didn't know what to do.
Otto, wait here till we get back. What the devil are you doing here?
Looking over my interests.
Well, since when are your interests in a cabinet of my office?
Tell him, Thornmere.
My client has obtained a writ.
Never mind. I'll explain. Your partner signed a paper which was a promise of payment for part ownership in a schooner of mine.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
He was to assume command of that schooner. He didn't show up. That, sir, is a breach of contract.
Well, maybe so. But he didn't ask for his money back. That should satisfy any claim for his services.
What money? I never received any money.
I paid you.
You have a receipt, Captain.
Receipt? I don't need any receipt.
Oh, I'm afraid you do, Captain.
Now, look, Mandeville, he left this office with the money. I know that.
Well, perhaps he lost it. Or spent it on rum. I don't know. I only know I never saw it.
Why, you thieving scum! I know I paid you.
Now, look, Mandeville, I know exactly what you're doing. I can't prove anything. I'm not even going to try. I'll pay you every last cent the captain owes you.
You have the money, of course.
I'll need a little time to raise it.
I'm afraid I have no time to give you. However, if he were to assume command of the schooner, as agreed, I would be willing to forget the whole thing.
I'll not command a dinghy for you, mister.
Then get them out of here, Blackner. They're on my property.
Let's go, Curry.
Stay away from me. Stay away from me.
Get them out of here, Blackner.
You said you're on your way out.
I'm going to borrow that money tomorrow. I'm going to give it to you. Then you're going to forget this whole thing. You understand?
Yes. Yes, I understand perfectly.
Get out. Get out! Get out!
You all right, son?
Yeah, I think so.
You need fixing up. Come into the office.
Mr. Cartwright! Mr. Cartwright! Please, you'd better come. The baby is coming. Please hurry.
You have a fine boy, Mr. Cartwright. I'll be at home if you need me. Good night, Captain Stoddard.
Did you see your son, Adam?
Yes, darling. You must rest.
Adam. Oh, how sweet his face looks. Like the cherubs on my music box. Play it for me, Ben. Are you proud of your son?
Yes, darling. Very proud. He'll make a fine-looking man.
Like you. Hold my hand, Ben.
I'm holding it.
You're so pale. You must have been worried about me. Oh, there was no pain, my darling. Oh, just a little now and then. But my thoughts went flying. I was warm all over. I was riding that cloud. The one that looks like an elephant. So high that the sun scorched my dress. But then it began to rain. Cool, sweet drops. They ran down my cheeks and into the corners of my mouth.
Elizabeth, I love you so much.
Ben, you're crying.
No, I'm not.
I'm here, child.
Do you like your grandson?
Aye. He's a fine boy.
Ben, I want you to promise me something. I want you to promise me that no matter what happens, you'll go after your dream.
Darling, we'll both go after my dream.
Promise.
I promise.
Is there smoke in here? My throat feels so dry. Read to me, Ben. That last part that I love so much.
The world was all before them, where to choose their place of rest, and Providence their guide. They, hand in hand, with wandering steps and slow, through Eden took the solitary way.
Music box.
Liz? Liz?
This is a real thrill for me, Mr. Cartwright. The West, where it's practically half across the world. And me, I've never been out of New England before.
Me, I've never even been on a train. He'll take care of you, Mrs. Callahan. Come on, Adam. Give your old grandfather a farewell smile.
I don't like taking him away from you, Captain.
You made a promise, son.
You sure you'll be all right, Captain?
Aye. I'm beginning to enjoy the peaceful life of a businessman.
You're gonna miss it, you old sea devil.
Like you'd miss a snaggle-toothed octopus, I wager. Don't brood, son. Keep a warm spot in your heart for her. Don't carry her on your shoulder for the rest of your life. She wouldn't want that.
No. I suppose she wouldn't. I'll keep a warm place in my heart for you too, sir.
Aye. Do that. Goodbye, son. Godspeed.
Bye, Otto.
Go on. Get on with you. You'll have me blubbering like my young grandson.
Driver.
You're all right now, son. You're all right, boy.
Was it a long night?
Not too long. I had company.
Memories? I had memories, too. All kind of mixed up in a dream. I was on this clipper ship, sailing on a dark and black sea, and all of a sudden the sun came up. I guess it was from all those stories you used to tell me when I was a boy, huh?
Memories and dreams are precious things, Adam. They're always there when you need them most.
How is he, Pa?
He's gonna be all right.
Howdy, Adam. Welcome home.
Evening, miss. I said evening.
Leave me alone.
Well, now you're not being cordial, and that ain't right, because I'm a very cordial fella.
Will you please go away?
I've been away 6 months. Just come in off the range. Only trying to be friendly.
Why don't you go someplace else and try to be friendly? Are you being trouble, Miss McClure?
I'm all right, Hoss. No harm.
You sure there's nothing I can do?
She said no harm.
Ma'am, would you like me to escort you home?
No, I'll be all right now. Thank you.
Evening.
Evening.
He's dead, Hoss.
Mr. Jenkins, everything was done proper?
Just like he was one of yours, Hoss.
Thank you, sir.
Get up.
Boiling cabbage down, down, turn them whole cakes round, round. The only song that I can sing is boiling cabbage down. Wish I had needle and thread as fine as I could sew. Sew that gal to my coat sleeves, down the road I'd go.
Whoa! Whoa, stop. Your pardon. I just came into town. I heard about this. I sure appreciate your kindness, but I'd like to bury my brother myself.
Boy, I just want to tell him how sorry I am.
I know.
I can tell by your look what you're thinking. You're figuring I'm aiming to make trouble, but I ain't. What's happened's happened, and I don't know the right or wrong of it. I ain't the judge.
We're hoping to have a real orderly funeral, friend.
Oh, I'm for order, indeed I am. But this is my brother. And if it's all the same to you good people, I'd like to bury him myself. Would you gentlemen give me a hand, please? Thank you. Giddy up, Molly.
Boiling cabbage down, down, turn them whole cakes round, round. The only song that I can sing is boiling cabbage down. Wish I had needle and thread as fine as I could sew. Sew that gal to my coat sleeves, down the road I'd go. Boiling cabbage down, down, turn them whole cakes round, round. The only song that I can sing is boiling cabbage down.
This fence could use some mending.
Yeah.
You haven't heard a thing I've said all day?
I'm sorry, Joe. Yeah, we'll get on that fence.
Look, you're eating yourself up with guilt, Hoss. It's no good.
Joe, I reckon ain't no good at killing folks.
You didn't mean to kill him. Everybody knows that.
Just can't get him off my mind. It's like he's following me around or something.
Hoss, it's happened, it's over with, and you're gonna have to forget it.
You're right. I'm gonna forget it. Let's get that fence fixed.
Okay. I need a wagon load of rails.
The trouble I seen, nobody knows my sorrow. Nobody knows the trouble I seen. Glory, hallelujah. Sometimes I'm...
Oh, good afternoon, gentlemen.
What are you doing?
Digging a grave for my brother.
You're gonna bury your brother here on our land?
Such a fine spot, under a tree with all this grass around.
Look, Mr. Bowling, I'm terribly sorry about your brother. There ain't nothing I can do or say that bring him back or make either one of us feel any better, but I can't let you bury him right here. Where I gotta live and work. I'm sorry, I just can't let you do it.
Well, that's a shame. That's a real shame. I know how you feel. He would have liked it here, though. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to trespass. I just didn't mean to cause any inconvenience. I'll fill up the hole. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you all the same.
Go on, Joe.
Nobody knows the trouble I seen. Nobody knows my sorrow. Nobody knows the trouble I seen. Glory, hallelujah. Clinch Mountain, I ain't got no home. I'm drunk as the devil, oh, leave me alone. Rye whiskey, I know you of old. You robbed my poor pockets of silver and gold. Rye whiskey, I cry. If I don't get rye whiskey, I surely will die. If the ocean was whiskey and I was a duck, I'd swim to the bottom and never come up. Rye whiskey, I cry. If I don't get rye whiskey, I surely will die.
You sure know a lot of songs.
I learned them in a lot of places.
How long you aiming on staying here, mister?
As long as I can sell some of my wares.
Reckon my wife could use some of your pots and pans? Stop by our place. Bring your wares.
Well, that's kindly of you, Mr. Gilbert. Very kindly.
Hey, how about another song?
I'll be pleased if you like. When he was a cowboy, he learned to throw the line. He learned to pocket money and also dress so fine. He went out on the prairie to learn to kill and steal. When he killed a cowboy, how happy he did feel. For working he's not able, and begging he's too low. But killing is so dreadful, to the gallows he must go.
Stop it!
What's the matter, boy?
That song.
It's just a song from the prairie. Don't carry no particular point.
I killed your brother and you hate me for it. Why don't you just come on out and say it?
Hate you? Now, you're wrong, boy. I don't hate nobody. I don't want to hurt you, boy. I want to forgive you. A man kills somebody, he needs to be forgiven. What's done's done. I'm just a peaceful traveling man, trying to earn an honest dollar.
I'll buy all your merchandise. You clear out of town tonight.
That's kindly of you, son. I couldn't do that. You'd just be buying my goods because you felt you owed me something.
I got the money.
Keep your money, son. Don't try and buy forgiveness. I give it to you freely.
Got home kind of late last night, didn't you, son?
Yes, sir. Couldn't sleep, so I rode into town for a spell.
With a work day in front of you?
Might have been a good thing I did, Paul.
How do you figure?
I saw bowling.
Well, that wasn't such a good idea, was it?
Maybe not, but I learned something.
What was that?
He's buried his brother. You know where? On the side of the road going into Virginia City. Every time I ride by it, going or coming, I gotta go right by that grave.
Well, Hoss, he can bury his brother any place he's allowed to.
Pa's right, Hoss. I thought you were going to try to forget about this thing.
I was, but he ain't gonna let me. He's finished his business. He's buried his brother. Now, why don't he go on?
Kind of hard to answer.
Well, I'm gonna find an answer.
Son, sometimes things happen. Accidents, innocent accidents. Nothing you can do about them. Best thing to do is leave them be.
Paul, I gotta find out. I gotta.
Are you going someplace?
Yeah, looks like Hoss may be chasing up trouble. I think somebody ought to keep an eye on him.
Well, I raised him to look after himself, and I think he can manage.
I got to go along with Adam, Pa. I'd feel a lot better if one of us went with
I'd feel a lot better if you just loaded up that wagon, both of you.
Where are you going?
Oh, I just remembered. I've got to go into town. I got to get some supplies.
Funny.
What's that?
He just picked up supplies yesterday.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, well, he wouldn't be going after Hoss. After all, he raised Hoss to take care of himself.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's load the wagon.
Bowling.
He left right after the fire.
What fire?
Hoss.
Hold it, Gilbert.
Ben,
hold it. Here, wipe your face.
Paul, that Gilbert accused
Go home.
me. But Paul.
Go home, son.
You're a violent man, friend. Violent.
Son. Mr. Bowling, I'm Ben Cartwright.
I'm pleased to make your acquaintance, Mr. Cartwright.
My son isn't a violent man. He's very sorry for what happened to your brother. Of course, so am I.
Well, that's kind of you, Mr. Cartwright. But it's over now.
My son doesn't seem to think it is. He has the feeling that
You have some sort of vengeful thoughts against him.
No man has a right to vengeance. Least of all a poor peddler like me.
Why are you staying on in town? What's keeping you here?
I don't rightly know. You see, my wagon burned down this morning, and I got no trade now. No place to go.
I'm sorry for what happened to your wagon, but how long do you intend to stay on here?
Well, now, Mr. Cartwright, that's hard to say. Have to give that some thought. Yes, sir. I'll have to think about that one. Morning, sir. Boil them cabbage down, down, turn them whole cakes round, round. The only song that I can sing is boil them cabbage down. Wish I had needle and thread as fine as I could sew that gals my coat sleeves down. Afternoon, ma'am. Would I be right in assuming that you're Mrs. McClure?
Yes?
I hope you won't think me forward, ma'am. I'd like to introduce myself. Name's Clarence Bowling.
You're the peddler.
That's my trade, yes, ma'am. I'm also a bit of a hand at chopping. With your permission, ma'am. I understand you saw my brother get shot.
Yes?
How'd it come about? Do you happen to remember?
I'd rather not talk about it, Mr. Bowling.
Oh, and here I pop up and remind you of all the unpleasantness again. Well, I hope you forgive me, ma'am. Sometimes I guess I'm a little short of manners.
That's all right, Mr. Bowling.
Boil them cabbage down, down, turn them hoe cakes round, round. The only song that I can sing is boil them cabbage down. Boil them cabbage down, down, turn them hoe cakes round, round. The only song that I can sing is boil them cabbage down.
Been staring into that fireplace for quite some time. Why don't you go to bed, like Adam and little Joe?
Just doing a little thinking, Paul.
Well, so was I. I was thinking I'd be pleased if you didn't go near bowling anymore.
Paul, what am I supposed to do? Dig a hole and crawl in it till he decides to leave town?
Peddlers have as much right in town as we have, Hoss.
Every place I turn, I see his face. That fire and the window.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrow. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. Oh, yes, Lord. Sometimes I'm almost to the ground. Yes, my Lord. If you get there before I do.
Evening, Judd.
Mr. Cartwright.
Judd, why were you singing that song?
I don't know. I guess I just felt kind of musical.
Where'd you learn it?
The song? Picked it up in town from a nice peddler.
Don't sing it no more.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cartwright.
It's all right, Judd.
How are you, Ben? Boys?
Fred, what brings you out this way?
Oh, a little business.
I think deputies had business on Sunday.
Well, something's come up. Sheriff wanted you to know about it, Ben.
Oh, what's happened, Fred?
Well, I'm afraid there's going to be an inquest.
An inquest?
Well, it's nothing to get upset about, Hoss. Just a legal technicality.
Why, all of a sudden, Fred? What happened?
Well, I don't...
A fair one. Because we're going to see to that. But right now, there are a couple of other things we're going to see to.
What are we going to do?
Well, you're going to stay right here, just like the deputy said. Boys and I are riding into town.
For what?
Want to talk to the sheriff about a couple of things? Come on, boys.
That may be well and good, but for my part, I still say we don't know what really happened. All we know is the sheriff said the widow saw it and he's satisfied. Will it?
Doesn't look much like Sunday, does it?
No, it don't at that.
Ben, the temperature in the town is up.
Meaning what?
Meaning that people talk.
They talked you into an inquest, huh?
Well, let's just say that a lot of questions were being asked that I didn't have the answers for.
Meaning what?
Meaning that I'm drawing up these legal papers and I'm going to have to serve them on horse.
This happened kind of sudden like, didn't it?
Well, people get brought up. Things happen kind of sudden. And Ben, depending on the inquest, Hoss might be bound over for trial.
Roy, if there is a trial because of the inquest, I'm not one to try to prevent it. You know that.
I do.
Only one thing troubles me. You say people are talking. Feelings running a little high. A man goes to trial under those conditions, justice can sometimes be a little short.
Now, wait a minute, Ben. Whenever there's a trial in my territory, I guarantee justice.
All right, Roy. You finish up with those papers, I'll take them out to Hoss.
No, I'm going with you. I'm going to bring Hoss right back here for his own safety.
Well, you're doing what you have to do. It's understood.
Nobody knows the trouble I seen. Nobody knows my sorrow. Nobody knows the trouble I seen. Glory, hallelujah. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. Oh, yes.
What do you want?
I don't want nothing directly, boy. Nice afternoon.
What are you doing out here?
The fact of the matter is, I come to bring you news, boy.
You get out of here.
Well, you might hear me out, son. There's talking in town. Real talk. Talk is growing. I figure maybe people are fixing to come out and get you. Well, your daddy's gone into town. He's seen it firsthand. You can't tell about people, boy. They got feelings. They act quick like. Folks can come out here and string you up just like that. And that would be a shame on a nice Sunday afternoon like this.
I told you to get. Now, you better get.
Wait a minute, boy. I'm just trying to help you. Time back, I seen a man strung up. Tain't pretty, boy. I watched him dangling there in the wind. It's an awful sight.
Son, what are you up to?
I'll kill him. I'll kill him!
Take it easy, Hoss.
How'd this happen?
I come here to make the peace with him, and he set on me.
That's a lie! That's a lie, Paul!
I come here with forgiveness in my heart, but that boy, he must be wild in his mind.
Are you carrying any weapons?
Sheriff, I carry only love and kindness from my neighbor. Do me the favor to search my person.
I'll do that. You're not carrying any weapons. Hoss, your pa and I agreed that the best thing for you to do would be to come back into town with me now.
Here, Hoss. You boys stay here. I'll ride into town with Hoss.
Well, now, Mr. Cartwright, I'm sorry. I really am.
This should feel better.
Thank you, ma'am. You're so thoughtful. I'm very appreciative.
You really should see a doctor.
He couldn't tend me proper. The pain's not on the face, ma'am. It's in the heart.
I can't understand why Hoss would do such a thing.
He's big, quick. Not one for thinking things through, I suppose.
It was simply brutal of him.
Now, I wouldn't be too hard on him, Mrs. McClure. A man with a temper is his own worst enemy. Probably set on me before he realized. Kind of like he set on my brother, maybe.
Mr. Bowling. I don't think he tried to kill your brother.
Oh, no, of course he didn't. Of course, I don't know the circumstances. And it isn't something I'd ask you, ma'am. Knowing how you feel about it, not wanting to talk about it.
Mr. Bowling, maybe I should talk about it. Maybe you should know.
Now, I wasn't making inquiries. I really wasn't.
I was alone on the street at night. Your brother was after my attentions. He was drunk. Hoss stopped him and told him to leave me alone.
And the shooting?
Your brother drew a gun. Hoss grappled with him. The gun went off. He couldn't help himself.
Did you actually see the trigger pulled? Wasn't it dark, ma'am?
It was dark, but I saw the struggle plainly.
And after it happened, you told it just that way to the sheriff?
Yes.
Well, wouldn't you think that would satisfy all parties? I suppose there's no explaining folks. They're talking in town, asking questions. Reckon you're going to have to tell your story at the inquest.
If they ask me, I will.
Ma'am, I don't want to appear forward, but I'd like to beg a favor of you.
What is it, Mr. Bowling?
Well, my poor brother, he made a mistake for which I'm sorry. Well, I just wasn't around to look over him, and he needed someone. Well, now he's gone, and I was thinking maybe there wouldn't be no harm if we was to protect his name.
What do you mean?
I was thinking that, well, maybe you could say something kindly about Arthur at the inquest. Like he was shot tending to his own business.
But that wouldn't be the truth.
What's the truth, ma'am? The truth can be colored. You say that Hoss Cartwright and my brother struggled over a gun. The gun went off. Someone pulled the trigger, perhaps intentionally. How can you be sure it was an accident? Appears we got company.
Oh, evening, Miss McClure.
Mr. Cartwright,
I was just riding by. I thought I'd have a word with you.
please come in.
Thank you.
Evening, Mr. Cartwright.
You'll get around, Mr. Bowling.
I guess I just happen to be in the places you come to.
Miss McClure, I was kind of hoping we could talk privately.
Well, whatever you have to say, you can speak freely.
Yes, well, as you know, there's apt to be an inquest about the shooting. And of course, we figured that you'd be telling the court just what you told the sheriff.
Well, I don't know right off.
Well, you told the sheriff that the shooting was accidental.
Well,
What's the matter, Mrs. McClure?
I said I thought maybe it was that way.
Well, you told the sheriff that Hoss and the man were struggling for the gun, and it went off accidentally.
Well, I did see them struggle, and the gun went off, but I don't know how it actually happened.
Mrs. McClure, my son's life may depend on what you say in court. And you're the only witness he's got. He needs you to tell exactly what you saw.
I'll do all I can.
I'm sure you will. Thank you for seeing me.
I'm confused. I've got to see the sheriff.
Roy, I know there's something strange going on at Miss McClure's.
But, Ben, Mrs. McClure is a good, honest woman.
Will you listen to me, Roy?
Yeah.
Now, why is Bowling out there this time of night? Now, why is Mrs. McClure suddenly so unsure of her testimony?
I don't know about that, but I do know that there's no law against a peddler talking to her.
Well, I know there's no law against anybody talking to her, but well, couldn't you warn Mrs. McClure against being unduly influenced by him?
All right, I'll do that. First thing in the morning.
Oh, why not tonight, right now?
Because I'm all alone here. I'm not going to leave you guarding Hoss, your own son.
I heard you talking out there, Paul. I told you.
Oh, Hoss, all I said was that Widow McClure was a little confused.
Paul,
There's nothing definite, Hoss.
If the widow changes her testimony, I'm a dead man.
Oh, son.
I should never have let Roy take him here. I should have run.
You know better than that. I never taught you to run. Look, Hoss, I'm not going to wait till tomorrow. I'm going to get Mrs. McClure back here tonight.
I enjoy whittling, ma'am. Kind of keeps a man calm. A situation like this, a man needs to keep calm.
Mr. Bowling, to threaten will not make me change the truth.
Threaten, ma'am? As I said, what is the truth? I just want to make sure you tell the right truth. But you pose a problem, ma'am. You hesitate about my truth. I can't afford that. I surely can't. Going somewhere, ma'am?
I'm cold. I thought I'd start a fire.
You disappoint me. You surely do. You weren't going to use this, were you?
Let me go, please.
Things are getting mighty awkward between us, aren't they? I can't let you go. You're not sure of the truth. Maybe there's an answer. Maybe I got the answer right here.
McClure? What is it, Mrs. McClure? What is it?
Boy, when I wouldn't change my testimony, he tried to kill me.
Now, we've got to get to the sheriff.
Hey, Roy.
What do you want, Hoss?
I want out of here, Roy.
Well, I don't blame you. Hoss.
Roy ain't got much choice, and I ain't got a whole lot to lose.
Now listen, Hoss, you're making a big mistake.
Roy, get the keys, let me out of here.
You're going to regret this, Hoss.
I probably will, Roy. But like I say, I ain't got much choice, have I? Easy, boy. If I can find that saddle, we're going to get out of here.
Roy! In here! Miss McClure, just sit down over here. Roy! Roy, what happened?
Somehow Hoss got a gun. He escaped.
Listen, we better find Hoss before he finds Bowling.
The keys are in there.
What? Which key is it?
That brass one, the big one. Look, thanks.
Oh, let's go.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrow.
Welcome to your friend. I've been waiting. I just wanted you to know what it would be like to be killed. I don't want you to die that easy. When they find us, friend, it's going to be self-defense. You fired at me, and I killed you in self-defense. See how easy, boy? Just like it was for you and my brother.
Oh, you going with us?
I can't right now. Judd and I are kind of busy.
Well, I'll be dead burned. Hey, Joe, Adam, come in here and see what Judd's got.
Hey, how many you got, Pa?
4 so far.
It's a stray you found the other night, huh?
Yes, sir. Didn't know what I was getting mixed up into when I gave her that drink of milk. Now I'll have to change her name.
Why?
I've been calling her Sam.
In the springtime, a young man's fancy likely turns to thoughts of, well, many things. Anything, in fact, that'll make him forget the long, hard winter and think of all the fun and good times that lie ahead.
Get up there, Gray! Gray, move! Get up, yaw!
That burned mules. Lazy as a fat sow in the summertime.
I wonder where Hoss is.
Well, it was awfully nice of you to show up.
Would you go to sleep on your cozy little seat and fall off on the ground?
Yeah, them mules remind me so much of you, too. I just didn't want to keep their company no longer.
Very funny, but what happened to the rest of the poles?
Oh, dad burn it, they fell off of that wagon when the mules bolted forward. I was down there trying to roll it through the mud, and dad burned mules, mud, and snow.
Yeah, well, we're tired of hungry steers and green wood.
And I'm sick and tired of you two moaning and groaning, so let's finish stacking these poles.
Hey, what's the matter with you two? And post too heavy for you?
Why don't you watch where you're going?
No. He did it on purpose.
What are you talking about?
All right, that's about enough.
Joe, if you're looking for a fight, you're gonna find it.
Look, now, we ain't got time. There's too much work to do. Now start picking those things up and watch it this time.
Adam, you stay out of this. Besides, where you get off telling me what to do anyhow?
Because I'm older than you are and smarter.
Oh, look, Carson's right. It's none of your business. Stay out of it.
Oh, you're pushing.
All right. Okay, you Oh, target's fun, huh? I'll fix you.
Just because you've got mountains around here made of silver doesn't mean I am.
For $15? For Pete's sake, you want the thing or don't you?
Well, springs aren't much good. Let's not mention the harness. Look at the rim on that wheel. It's almost worn through.
I'll replace it for $3.
$3?
All right. I told you forget about this. I'll give you a good price on a brand new one.
Pshaw, $100 to take a man from one place to another? A fool and his money are soon parted. Tell you what it will I'll do, though. I'll give you $30 for the whole rate, and that includes that nag. Including the horse? Pitiful creature. You ought to shoot him out of pure kindness.
All right, sir, all right. Take it. And may the theft lie easy on your conscience.
The boys have been stacking timber to cure it for a new branding pen.
Nothing ruins a place like neglect.
Well, as I said, the boys are building a new one. It's been a hard winter. The snow's been especially heavy this year.
It's a good thing to get a head start on the spring. You know, the early bird catches the worm.
I know. I wonder where those boys are.
Anxious to meet your boys, Benjamin.
Yeah.
Haven't seen them since they were children. They must be big men now.
Yeah, they are.
Great oaks from Little Acorn.
They're 3 fine boys, Jed. Hard workers and good head on their shoulders. They're close to each other, as brothers should be.
She pulled, Gray!
Pulled off! You pulled! If you knew the hole was right here, what'd you back it in so far for? Why didn't you say something?
Because you didn't ask me, older brother.
Now, why don't you stop arguing and start pushing?
That's the smartest thing's been said today.
Yeah! Pull! Get up! Pull! She pull! She pull! She pull!
What in the world?
As you sow.
All right! Okay! All right. Go! Now you're
Stop it! Did you hear what I said? Now stop that nonsense. Go! Adam! Horse! Stop it! Now, what's going on here? What is going on here?
Ben!
What's the matter?
What's the matter? My foot is smashed. That's what's the matter.
You satisfied? Here, let me help you up.
These, I take it, are your sons, Benjamin Cartwright.
My sons.
Would you please stop that?
What?
The pounding.
Doctor, just how serious is this?
Well, it's hard to say. He has a very painful foot there. Better keep him off his feet, several days at least. You know, a man of his years, it's hard to say how really serious it could be.
Well, we'll do all we can for him, Doctor.
I know my way out, Ben. Good night. Good night, boys.
Thank you for coming, Doctor. Well, Well, now you know how he is as a result of your 10-year-old schoolboys would show more sense. Do you realize that? Will you stop that pounding? Do you realize that man started with nothing on his back but his clothes? He accomplished everything strictly on his own. I wanted to show him what we've done with the Ponderosa. I wanted him to meet my sons. Well, he has. I don't know what's gotten into the three of you lately.
Dad, burn it, Paul. We've been working for 2 weeks in mud belly deep to a tall cow. It's rained dang near every day.
Yeah, when it didn't snow.
We haven't been in Virginia City for almost a month. Personally, I'm sick of the Ponderosa right now.
Oh, you are you? Well, you listen to me, young man. I still run this ranch. I'm still your father. And as long as you continue to live on the Ponderosa, you'll do exactly as I say. And that includes volunteering to perform any errands or business deals Mr. Milbank has been forced to delay while he recuperates. And we're going up and tell him so right now.
Come in.
I hope I didn't waken you.
No. I was having a little trouble dropping off.
Well, Jedediah, the boys have been worrying about your affairs, and they insist that you let them take care of whatever business you came out here for.
That's very thoughtful. As a matter of fact, there are a few little things. I suppose they might handle it.
Oh, of course they can. Why, each one of them has taken care of the Ponderosa by himself on occasion.
Oh, I don't want to take any of them away from his work.
No. We insist.
Well, never put off till tomorrow what you can do today. Here we are. Let's see. Yes. Exactly 3 little items that need attention.
Well, Joe?
Here's a small piece of land I own. Been hanging on to it until the railroad realizes they need it for a watering stop. I had word of squatters moved onto it. Let one in. Next thing, your property is overrun. Think you can chase them off, son?
Yes, sir, Mr. Milbank. I think I can chase him off.
Horse?
There's a small ranch on this map. It's located exactly at the spot I need for a fattening station for my cattle. I've made out a bill of sale in advance. All you have to do is fill in the correct amount. I'll pay a lot more than the land's worth. Buy it.
Yes, sir. I'll get it, Mr. Milbank.
Now, this is a little different. I sold a nice little ranch here. A couple paid me half. The rest supposed to be paid a certain amount each year. Payment's overdue. I want the ranch back. Evict them.
Well, why don't you give them a little more time? Maybe they'll come up with the money.
I've given them enough time. Time waits for no man. Evict them.
Well, Jedediah, you can relax now. Everything is being taken care of.
Yes, men. Friends in need are friends indeed.
It'll be just about our luck to run into more rain.
Well, maybe we'll be lucky and drown.
Well, at least I won't have to put up with you two for a couple of days.
Do a good job, boys. Good luck.
Thanks,
Thank you,
We'll
Paul.
need it.
count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Howdy, stranger. You're a sight for sore eyes. I come up from the creek as soon as I seen you crossing it. Parley is my name, and welcome. I don't get much company up here. Why, this is the first chance I've had to chin with a soul in weeks.
Now, you know who this property belongs to?
No, who?
Jedediah Milbank.
Nice name.
Now, he's from San Francisco, and he doesn't like squatters overrunning his property.
Jedediah? Well, that's a Bible name, ain't it?
Well, I guess so.
Must come from a nice family. You know, folks don't read the Bible like they used to. I still do. Well, you can tell him that I'll watch out for his place for him while he's busy up there to San Francisco.
Well, no. He wants you to get off his property.
He does? What for?
Because it's his, not yours. Now, you gotta get off.
He planning on using it? He gonna farm it, maybe?
No, he's not gonna farm it. He's gonna wait and sell it to the railroad.
Well, that's the difference in folks. I look at this land, I see tall meadow grass and pretty spring poppies and that nice little creek over there running along snickering at the white-tailed deer that come down to drink. And Jedediah Milbank, all he sees is something to sell to the railroads. Bible name, too.
Well, all I'd like to see is you packing your things and getting off the property.
You got a badge? I don't see it. You a sheriff?
No, I haven't got a badge. But I got a gun. And I don't want to have to use it.
Now, that's a right smart idea, son. What man can get himself killed using a thing like that?
Now, I said I don't want to have to use it, but I'm not going to spend the whole day passing time with a stubborn, cantankerous old squatter.
Stubborn? Cantankerous? Me? Why, you ain't said a neighborly word. Let's get the blazes off of here is the way you pass a time of day.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I didn't put it to you the way you'd like. But I made it plain. Get off the property!
No, I just as soon not.
What'd you say?
I'd just as soon not.
Now look, old man, I'm sick and tired of arguing. Now get your things and get off the land.
Son, you move too fast. You gotta learn to relax so you can think about what you're doing.
Oh, no. I know what I'm...
Hey, look, cut me down, will you? Hey, look, cut me down, will you? Hey. Cut me down, will you? I didn't mean that bear trap for you. Why, I just put it there to keep the bear out of my tote sack.
Well, fine, then let me down.
Now, listen, you just gotta learn to relax. Why, it's the best thing in the world for you. The blood will all rush to your head and refresh your mind. Ooh. Why, I ain't doing this land no harm. There's plenty of fish, fresh game for the shooting, wood for a fire, water. Well, the land gives a man everything he needs, just as the good Lord intended it.
Hey, please cut me down. It's making me dizzy. Hey, come on.
Look up at the sky, son. Look up at the sky. You had your mind on little things. Look up at the sky.
How could I possibly look at the sky? Oh, hey, come on, cut me down.
Now, I don't want you to think that I don't appreciate your coming to visit me, but you're a kind of a strong-minded boy. You just got to learn to relax.
Oh,
well,
hey, come on, cut me
you
down.
Think it over, and I'll be back.
You what? Oh, hey, no. Oh.
See how anybody can trade this beautiful blue sky and warm sun for a mess of greenbacks and silver.
Okay, old man. You got me sold on the sun, the sky, and the wind. But I've been sitting here for over an hour, and I haven't even got a nibble yet.
I've been telling you, boy, you got a nervous hand on that pole, and the fish know it. Look, you just have to learn how to relax.
But how can I relax with you catching all the fish?
Well, I'll tell you, son. You know what day it is?
No.
It's the first day of spring, that's what it is.
Yeah, so what about it?
What about it? What means that you can forget about the rain and the snow of winter and start enjoying living again.
You know, I never thought about it that way, old man. Hey, maybe that's because I've never been hung upside down before, so I can think straight.
Oh, boy, you got one. You got one.
Hey! Hey, did you ever see a fish like that in your whole life?
No, boy. I ain't never seen a fish like that ever before. Fresh, tender trout, fried nice and crisp with hot biscuits. Let's go.
Well, wait a minute.
Wait, what for?
Yeah, now you gotta learn to relax, old man. Look, if you're as hungry as I am, we ought to stay a while and catch another one. Unless, of course, you're in a hurry.
No, boy. I ain't no hurry.
Here, put him on a string. Woo-hoo, what a fish.
Hello, pup. Hello there. Want some water? Wait a minute. Come here. Here. Yeah, drink that then.
Things will get better. We'll paint the house. I'll make some furniture, and the baby will be company for you soon.
We tried it. We came out here to the middle of nowhere to be farmers instead of city people. Close to the land, you said, was close to God, but it just didn't work. Look, this isn't a home. This is a shack.
The other things came first. We knew that. You agreed.
Oh, yes, but I know enough to admit a mistake. This has been a terrible year, Paul. We never see anyone. We never have any time for anything but plowing and building and clearing the land.
Annie, this'll be a good place someday. Everything we've done will be worth it. It's beautiful here. It'll be a good way to live.
It never will. Paul, that man came here last night out of the blue, and he is offering us every cent we paid for this place, plus a $300 profit. Now, why can't you just thank God and take it?
You can't buy the way I feel about this place. That's what you said to me last summer. Remember?
Here you are, ma'am.
Sit down, Mr. Cartwright. It's ready.
It sure does smell good.
Bread, fresh baked.
You bet. Ain't nothing smells like fresh baked bread.
Paul?
We thank thee for these thy gifts, which we have received from thy bounty, O Lord. Amen.
Well, folks said you'd make up your mind by tonight. I reckon this is sort of a celebration dinner, ain't it?
There's too much of us here. We don't want to sell.
I'll tell you, old man Milbank really wants this place. He wants it for a feeding station for his cattle. He told me to pay anything I had to do to get it.
He did.
Yes'm. Ain't no use in us arguing back and forth like a couple mule traders. Tell you what I'll do. I'll give you $1,000 instead of the $300. Now, that ought to be fair to you and satisfy old man Milbank.
$1,000. Oh, thank you. Paul, did you hear it?
This place is not for sale, Mr. Cartwright.
Paul.
Why, it'd be like selling our own flesh for $1,000.
Paul, I didn't mean to start.
No, it's nothing. I'm sorry. Please, go ahead and eat. She'll be all right. Having a baby all alone's been making her kind of nervous lately.
Yeah. Women's sort of funny like that, I reckon. Filled your lamp.
Thanks. Is that offer still good?
Yeah?
Then we'll take it. Be leaving first thing in the morning.
Don't need to hurry. Ain't no rush.
We'll want to. Maybe you'd give me a hand with the packing in the morning?
Yeah, I'll help you. There she is, Paul. Everything in the house that wasn't nailed down.
I certainly thank you, Mr. Cartwright.
Glad to help you. You better get a line over that stuff, otherwise the first good rut you hit, it'll all come tumbling up in the front seat with you.
Thanks again. I think I'll take a look around. I don't want to forget anything.
Taking a walk, and look what I found, Paul. Aren't they sweet?
So that's where she's been. She must have been hiding them someplace. They're 3 or 4 weeks old.
Look at them, they're so tiny. Oh, I'm not scared anymore, Paul. That sounds silly, but I just feel different.
It's the morning. You always feel good in the morning.
Oh, I found something else in the back of the barn. Look.
Violets. Violets are for a man to give to a woman, not vice versa.
Oh, Paul. Oh, I don't want to go anymore. I just want to have a dozen children and stay right here on our own farm for the rest of our lives. What are we going to do?
I don't know. I signed the bill of sale this morning.
Oh, you've got to make him give it back, Paul. I really want it more than anything in the whole world.
Well, I ain't gonna give it to you. Tell you what I will do. I'll make you a trade.
Trade for what?
I'll trade you this bill of sales for that pup your wife's got. Never was a very sharp trader, nohow. Bye, Paul.
Thank you.
See you.
Company coming.
Company? I wonder who?
Now, isn't that just like a woman? Wanting to know something before she can possibly know. Better set another plate. Man coming in this time of day will be hungry.
Ted. There's not enough for another person.
Well, we'll just stretch what we got then.
It's already stretched.
Now, a man coming in this late's got a right to expect something to eat. Now, we'll not let him go hungry in our house, huh? Howdy.
Howdy. Adam Cartwright.
Ted Hackett. You're just in time to set for supper.
Well, thanks.
You look tired. You come all the way from town?
Yeah, it's a long way.
Sure is. Come on in. Mama? This is Adam Cartwright.
Hello.
And this is my boy, Ray.
Ray?
My daughter, Barbara.
Barbara?
Well, you get some of that trail dust off of you, and I'll go out and take care of your horse. You know, it isn't often we get somebody out here to share some of Pa's good...
I think you ought to know that I was sent out here by Jedediah Milbank.
Well, man can't talk business on an empty stomach. You go ahead and have your supper, and we'll talk later.
Well, if you say so. Thank you.
Ma? You can go ahead and serve supper now. I don't want you to worry none about me not eating. I've had a kind of an upset stomach lately. Touchy colic, I reckon. I can't keep nothing down. Now, you kids mind your manners. I'll go put your horse away. Hackett's Folly. That's what I called him. I figured a prize bull would give me a prime herd and pay for himself in the long run.
That's what we've done on the Ponderosa. Improved the stock.
He was a fine animal. Then with the late snows, bear came down out of the hills. Got a hold of old Folly in his pen one night and broke his neck.
Yeah, we lost a lot of cattle to mountain lions. Worst winter we ever had.
I heard the ruckus. Went out and got the bear, but, well, he's the most expensive beef we've eaten around here in a long time.
Cost good money. Every cent we made on the crops for the past 2 years.
And that did it, huh?
That's just the beginning. We still figured we were ahead of the 10 calves old Folly sired for us. Then with the bad winter, I had to buy feed for them. Then all but 2 of them drowned when the spring thaw flooded the creek.
Well, look, maybe if I told Mr. Milbank what happened...
No. One of the things we liked about this place when we bought it was that it had a good windmill and a pump. We could always irrigate 10 acres if a dry spell come along. Pump broke and it takes $200 to get a new one.
Why don't you fix the old one?
Even if we could fix it, we need a new cylinder, and we can't even afford that.
We were ambitious. Probably tried to do too much without setting anything away for a rainy day.
We hate losing the place. We're not going to cry about it. No, sir. My name's Theodore. Theodore stands for the gifts of God. The good Lord's given me plenty of his gifts in my day, and I'm sure not going to start complaining when he takes a few of them away from me. Well, I guess I better look to the stock before I turn in. I'm sorry the only thing I got to offer you is the loft to sleep in.
He's looking for his tobacco in his pockets. He used to smoke in that smelly old thing like a stove. Well, I'm not as proud as he is. Do you have any tobacco on you, Mr. Cartwright? That man wouldn't buy himself none in over a month.
No, ma'am, I don't.
A man shouldn't have to do that. Not my man.
Morning. Morning. What you doing?
Well, that pump of yours sure was smashed up. I got most of it back together.
You been working on the pump?
Yeah, I couldn't sleep last night. I thought I'd take a look at it. You'll have to drop everything else for a couple of days and help me out.
But, like I told you last night, even if we could fix the pump, we gotta have a new cylinder, and we can't afford that.
Well, I'm gonna go to town for the cylinder. You can finish putting all this back together.
But...
Ted? What's the matter?
Just a minute, Mama. Go ahead, speak what's on your mind.
All right. Now listen and don't interrupt. I'm gonna sell those 2 calves you got left, because you're gonna be too busy handling a double crop.
What do you mean, a double crop?
Well, I got a plan that'll let you irrigate twice as many acres. I worked half the night on it.
And I just forget about Mr. Milbank and the bank, too, huh?
No. I'll take care of both of them. You can pay me when you catch up.
No. I've given a lot of favors in my day, and I'm not too proud to take them, but not this. We made our mistakes, and we'll pay for them, not you.
I'm not paying, Mr. Hackett. I'm sharing.
It's springtime, Ted. A time for beginning things, not ending them.
I'm surprised if we run across a little tobacco, too.
Why I did that, honey?
I reckon he just felt like it.
Grass, pure, invigorating air. Smell.
Smell. Smell. Sagebrush.
You all right?
Yes, I'm all right. You know, Ben, I've been thinking. Got a big house here. Lots of space. Plenty of rooms.
Oh, it's a comfortable house.
Such a big house. Just for 4 men. Did you ever think about letting rooms out to travelers?
Oh, no, Jedediah. Would never think of doing a thing like that.
Just a suggestion. You know, idle hands are the devil's workshop. Well, I know you're anxious to get back to work. I'll do what I can with this.
Oh, no need for anything like that.
Now, Ben, you know I'm not the sort of man to sit around twiddling my thumbs. I know a ranch like this needs lots of attention, especially with your boys away.
Oh, they'll be back in a day or so. I'm glad you came here, Jedediah. Set them a good example.
Well, come on. Let's make hay while the sun shines. Chores won't get done standing around. I'll go get my coat. Now, Ben, a job worth doing is worth doing well. Why don't we finish the rest of the pile?
then. You know, Ben, I wish I had a couple of hands like you on my spread. 2 good days' work like this would have the place in pretty good order.
Jedediah. Jedediah.
Hi, Mr. Milbank. Ah, it's a real nice job stacking those poles.
Yeah, well, we didn't have too much to do while you were gone.
Chased that squatter off my land, did you, boy?
Pa, I got a trout this big.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, melted in your mouth like butter.
Yeah.
Went fishing? No squatters?
Well, yeah, there was one. A man named Parley. A real nice fellow, and he's going to keep an eye on your land for you, Mr. Milbank, so you haven't got a thing to worry about.
Joseph, you mean there was someone on the property, and there's still someone on the property?
Yeah, but he wasn't doing any harm, Pa.
Not doing any harm.
Jedediah, hold on a moment. Joseph, perhaps it'd be best if you would explain.
Milbank, Joe. So you got them all stacked up, neat and pretty, too.
Yeah, Horse, how did you make out, son? Did you get that land that Jedediah wants?
Well, did you buy that property or didn't you?
Well, Horse?
Well, Paul, I reckon them folks are just a little sharper traders than me.
Well, I told you I wanted that land. How much extra did they want for it? 1,000? 2,000?
Well, what did they demand, Horse?
Well, Dad burn it, Paul, they didn't demand nothing. They just flat didn't want to sell that land, that's all.
They offered you a bribe. The scoundrel took a bribe, that's what they did. They're trying to hold me up. It's a plot. It's a plot.
That's right. That's what I done. I took a bribe.
I knew it. I knew it.
Horse.
What'd they give you?
I'll show you. Ain't he cute?
Well, Mr. Milbank. Yeah, it's a good even job of stacking you're doing there.
Yeah, tell me, Adam, did you have any trouble at all?
No, not at all.
Ah, you're the oldest, the only one with a head on his shoulders.
Where'd you get the pup, Horse?
Well, Adam, why don't you give Jedediah the deed?
I didn't get it, Pa. They paid the installments.
With what? Where'd they get the money?
For me. I'm sorry, Pa. I had to do it. They needed it.
Ben Cartwright, you Judas. You jackal, you father of jackals.
Now, calm down, Jed.
Calm down. First they heave a log on my
Well, that was simply an accident.
An accident. You, Ben Cartwright, are the worst of a poor lot. I always said like father, like son. You, sir, you've sired a litter of lazy, shiftless whelps. Like father, like son.
Come on, the three of us lazy, shiftless whelps better get back to work.
Boys, it's been a long, tough, hard winter. Smell that fresh air. Feel that warm sun. It's spring. Ponderosa can take care of itself. I'm going to town.
father like son.
বাড়ির কাছে ভরা নদী শেষে জোয়ার, জোয়ার ভাটা শেষ হলে শুকনো বালুর চর। বাড়ির কাছে ভরা নদী শেষে জোয়ার, জোয়ার ভাটা শেষ হলে শুকনো বালুর চর। ঢেউয়ের তালে তুলতে চলে আমার নাই চর। চল নৌকা ডুবি, চল নৌকা ডুবি খেলবো খেলা আজ দুজনায়। চল নৌকা ডুবি, চল নৌকা ডুবি খেলবো খেলা আজ দুজনায়। আগুন মাসের আগুন জ্বলা ভরা বসন্ত, ঘুমিয়ে থাকা মনটা আমার বড়ই অশান্ত। আগুন মাসের আগুন জ্বলা ভরা বসন্ত, ঘুমিয়ে থাকা মনটা আমার বড়ই অশান্ত। প্রেমের গাঙে সাঁতার কাটলে হাতটা আমার ধর। চল নৌকা ডুবি, চল নৌকা ডুবি খেলবো খেলা আজ দুজনায়। চল নৌকা ডুবি, চল নৌকা ডুবি খেলবো খেলা আজ দুজনায়। ভালোবাসার পরশ পেয়ে অস্থির আমি গেছি হয়ে, ভালোবাসার পরশ পেয়ে অস্থির আমি গেছি হয়ে। সারা